Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
It's crunch time in the Cape Cod Baseball League as we welcome you to McKeon Park in Hyannis. The Harwich Mariners are in town, sitting third in the East and trying to serve Hyannis its first loss of this season-long series. Hyannis is trying to stay afloat, meanwhile, in the West Division with only a 3-point cushion over last place Katuitt. Two middle-of-the-pack teams ready to fight for positioning on Cape League TV. As we welcome you into the broadcast booth, hello everybody, alongside Max Schwartzberg and Giovanni Collada, I'm Graham Nash. Well, to find the last time that these two teams played, you've got to go all the way to the beginning of the month of July, which at this point feels like months ago. But Gio, these two teams, both in names on the roster and in style of play, could not look and feel more different.
Well, Hyannis has certainly had its fair share of roster flux, Graham, as both these teams flip the switch as we get to the late stretch of games here in this Cape Cod Baseball League season. But on the Harwich side, the jolt in numbers has coincided with a record that stays relatively the same, just one win better than the June record for Harwich. And the last time these two teams played on July 1st, played to a 2-2 tie with 18 punch-outs for Hyannis. And you can see, based on Harwich's hitting stats at the time, that sort of makes sense. Maybe not 18 strikeouts in a game. That's a bit of a big number. But recently, Harwich has done a better job seeing the baseball, and it's coincided with a climb in the standings for Harwich, as they're now third in the East, whereas they were fourth during that game.
Max, Hyannis also made a little bit of a switch, but kind of in the opposite direction.
And almost perfectly opposite in terms of the record. They were 8-4-1 entering that July 1st game against Harwich. How about 4-8-2 since? And we've talked a lot this season about the pitching just struggling for Hyannis. The bats have just not been there either in July. They were first in the Cape League, and then you bring it back here. And it just shows that there's a lot of time for them to be able to have a better time and just improve upon it. There's time left in the season.
And Hyannis still trying to improve. They've got a couple new names in the batting order and a new name starting. Tyler August making his first start. He spent the majority of the season as a reliever. I was able to catch up with Mitch Carricker and ask him about it pregame. Graham Nash catching up with manager Mitch Carricker pregame. Coach, we don't usually talk starters right out of the gate, but you got Tyler August on the mound making his first start. What do you like about his game, and what does he need to do tonight to succeed?
Yeah, Tyler's had a really good summer. This will be his last start before he heads out, and so looking forward to him to give us some length tonight. Continue to throw the ball really well, and the biggest thing is going to be throw strikes.
Haven't played this Harwich team in quite a while, beginning of the month. How much of your and the team's preparation has been totally restarting versus building off of what you saw last time?
Yeah, I think, every day is a little bit different. We're a little bit different than the last time we saw them, and I imagine they're a little bit different too. And so for us, we're just worried about our game and what we can do better. And, we had one slip away from us yesterday, but it felt like overall the effort's there. We just got to clean some things up and we'll be all right.
One more lineup question for you, Coach. You've got Parker Brocious back in the order for the first time since last season. What was it like penciling his name back in today?
Yeah, it felt really good. We love Parker, not only as a player but as a kid. He brings a lot to the table, and he's going to be a good mix for these guys. And so looking forward to see him get after it today.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys? Well, Max, heard that Mitch Carricker really likes Tyler August and his stuff. because he's coming off a lot of good performances.
And he's earned a starting rotation spot tonight for Hyannis ever since July 11th against Orleans. This guy's been kind of a different animal for Mitch Carricker. He got the All-Star nod for the Cape League, and then you just take it to the strikeouts per nine at 10.9. He has been so impressive in the swing and miss category. The walks are a little bit high, as it has been with Hyannis' pitching staff, but we know the starting pitching ERA carries them forward, and maybe he could play off that tonight, Graham.
Gio, this is the second game in a row where a pitcher for Hyannis who began the season as a reliever is now getting the start.
Yeah, Eddie Copper went last night for Hyannis out of Charlotte. In 7 appearances, all of them relief, makes that first start last night. You could see that he's put together some good performances this season right off the jump. In Brewster yesterday, he faces 1 above the minimum in the first inning. The second inning, though, Graham, that's where the wheels begin to fall off, where Brewster gets 1 of its 4 runs against Eddie Copper. It's not like no relievers have made starts for Hyannis this summer and failed. Carson Yasa, the team's leader in ERA with a mark just over 2, has certainly done a very good job through 4 starts this season. So it's certainly possible for Tyler August. It may just be that all these relievers coming out of the bullpen will need to find their legs going longer in games.
And we also heard Mitch Carricker talk about the not-so-new kid in town, and Parker Brocious. Our very own Ethan Wax was able to catch up with him pregame.
Alongside Parker Brocious. And Parker, what was your experience like playing for Hyannis last year?
No, it was fun. It definitely got cut a little bit short, but love being up here. Mitch and Sean and Rich, they're awesome, and yeah, I was excited to get back up here this year.
And what do you look forward to? What can you bring towards this year's campaign?
Yeah, I mean, I was working on a lot of stuff early in the summer, and just come up here, try to work on that stuff. Continue to steal bases, play good defense, all the above.
And what did you learn from your time at Georgia Tech that you can utilize during this year?
Yeah, I said a big thing I learned this past year is about base running and just like a system that we got going on, and just continue to like put your head down and be a grinder.
Thank you for your time and good luck tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys.
All right, thank you so much, Ethan. Gio, Parker Brocious only played 8 games with this Hyannis team last year, but he made a pretty immediate impact.
Yeah, rising senior at Georgia Tech, coming back to Hyannis after spending the early part of the summer working on some stuff, as he told us pregame, just immediately when he got here last year. Only played in 8 games, as you mentioned, Graham, but was immediately well received by the dugout, always with a smile on his face. As you mentioned, one of the most popular guys in the room, and we saw that today. A lot of guys introducing themselves to Parker, getting to know their new teammate as it slots in for the final stretch of the season here. We mentioned that after the All-Star break is kind of evacuation day where the rosters become what they're going to be for the remainder of the season. So having a new face like that, but one that's familiar with the Cape League and with Hyannis in particular, is certainly an asset for Mitch Carricker.
His time was only cut short because he suffered an injury during his 8th game, ran into the outfield wall and hurt his shoulder, but had a good season with Georgia Tech. He's looking to build upon that here. We've got one more interview for you before we cut to break. Our very own Ava Fernandez was able to catch up with Brody Briggs, who was just deemed the hitter of the week in the Cape League.
Ava Fernandez alongside Brody Briggs, who was our Harbor Hawk hitter of the week. And Brody went 3 for 5 at the plate with a home run and 2 RBIs. So what was the last week feeling like at bat?
I think it's the same thing. I'm trying to do the whole time. Just have consistent at bats, and they fell for me this week and put a couple good swings on the ball. So.
Yeah, and coming from, you've been here since the beginning of the season, what have you kind of been working on at the plate throughout the season?
I think just making consistent hard contact. Try not to strike out, try to put the ball in play, let good things happen.
Yeah, and these last few weeks, is there anything that the coaching staff has said to you kind of to get you in that motivation for the plate?
I think they've just told me to just stay the course. It was a hard start for me, so I think it was just don't give in, just stay the course and keep playing hard.
Yeah, and Brody has also been one of our catchers since the beginning this year. What has it been like kind of transitioning with all those new catchers coming in?
It's good. I get to meet a lot of new guys, and, I've been here to kind of see the rotating cast of players. It's cool. I think it's just kind of, I've been here the whole time, so showing them kind of how we do things, and then, trying to get everybody on the same page as fast as possible.
Yeah, and is there anything that you think that you've learned from seeing all these new catchers from all over the country?
Yeah, everybody's different, so you learn something new from everyone. So I think it's good. I've worked with, 4 different catchers now, so I learned something new from everybody.
Well, great job, and Brody will be in the game tonight, so you can see him hopefully hit another home run.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so much, Ava. We will be right back after this.
I think, Dean, they're allowing you to find your own success and your own true independence.
Dean is a whole group of all different kinds of people and communities.
Since I've come to Dean, I've learned a lot of time management skills.
Our community is especially tight-knit, and the majority of our students live on campus. And you are guaranteed 4 years of housing while you attend Dean.
Dean is just full of opportunities for you to embrace, to welcome, so you can change yourself to who you want to be and form your career for the future.
So go through that, all right? Think that way.
Be a bulldog. Have a bulldog mentality in everything you do in life, whether you're playing sports or in the classroom or just socializing around campus.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
So I think, Dean, they're allowing you to find your own success and your own true independence.
Dean is a whole group of all different kinds of people and communities.
Since I've come to Dean, I've learned a lot of time management skills.
Our community is especially tight-knit, and the majority of our students live on campus. And you are guaranteed 4 years of housing while you attend Dean.
Dean is just full of opportunities for you to embrace, to welcome, so you can change yourself to who you want to be and form your career for the future.
So go through that, all right? Think that way.
Be a bulldog. Have a bulldog mentality in everything you do in life, whether you're playing sports or in the classroom or just socializing around campus.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. Harwich and Hyannis set to face off for a third time this season as we run you through the opposing batting order, penciled in by Harwich. Leading off, Tanner Marsh, followed by Nico Brini and Aiden Robbins. Robbins leading this team in many categories, but he was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts the one time that he played this Hyannis team back on July 1st. Then Maddox Maloney, Matt Conti, and D. Kennedy with Coonan, Harris, and DiCarlo rounding out the starting 9. As mentioned earlier, going up against a very strong Tyler August, right-handed pitcher and an all-star for this Hyannis team. August making his first start of the season, but man, Max, he's got some nasty stuff.
Yeah, we mentioned it at the top of the show, a 10.9 strikeouts per 9. He's just been getting really good swing and miss stuff, and of course Mitch Carricker's squad, kind of known for the strikeout this season, Graham. August is no exception, and we talked about it. It's going to be his ability to stay in the strike zone early, execute his pitches, and put himself in advantage counts, because that whip creeps up there at 1.6.
Tyler August, a right-handed pitcher, and the Mariners they're much better against righties, notably, than lefties. They've got a 190 team average against left-handed pitchers. That's worst in the Cape League. Their average against righties sitting up at 233. That's 7th in the Cape League. So regardless, they've had some struggles, but not as bad as it could be. Here's the defensive alignment for Hyannis. Parker Brocious making his first start for Hyannis in 2025 in left, and Owen Prince and Devin Mitchell make out the outfield. Jake Schaffner, Charlie Bates, Jeff Lugie, and Gabe Camacho are the infielders, with Brody Briggs back behind the dish for Tyler August. And man, that is an all-star battery right now. Briggs did not make it to the all-star game, but he sure is playing like one right now.
Yeah, Briggs has been white hot, and we talked about it earlier in the season when he was really struggling. It seemed like he was just getting unlucky. And as we mentioned, the Cape League hitter of the week, that batting average raised to 186, but compared to where it was, Graham, it was under 100 for a while. He has really caught fire, and what I like to see is the slug. 2 home runs on the team, tied with a couple guys for second on the team lead. Of course, Chris Rumbert and Andrew Williamson leading the charge with 3. And it's an opportunity here for a guy who's been here since day one. He's been here with August to know the type of pitcher he's facing with, know his tendencies, and that's going to be huge tonight, Graham. The chemistry's already been established.
Tanner Marsh going to lead things off for the Harwich Mariners in this third ball game between the Harbor Hawks and the Mariners. Marsh from Liberty University facing off against Liberty University's Tyler August. He rocks and fires, and we're underway with Tanner Marsh taking a strike. Well, we've seen a lot of teammate v teammate matchups already this season, most notably Matt Murad going up against a couple of Hawaii guys.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Hawaii guys here on the Cape.
0-1. They say he went around.
There's that swing and miss stuff that we talked about. That one more of a sword check swing attempt, but that just shows the nasty break of the slider right there from August.
And another nasty breaker, dropped third strike. Brody Briggs has to race for it, and he's not going to be able to get the out.
That's a tough break for August. He really had him on the yo-yo right there. Just look at how out of balance this swing is. And it's a tough one for both Briggs as well. And if you're August, you got to get right back to it because you know that your stuff is working. This is a Harwich team that is known for their pitching, so you have to execute when you're on the mound against these batters.
Looked like it took a weird hop, too, off of the pads behind home plate, which didn't help out Brody Briggs at all in getting to that baseball. Brings up Nico Brini. Brini has struggled a bit this season. He's got a 183 average. Has only played once in this series against Hyannis. Was 0 for 3 the first game that these two teams played back on June 15th. It was the second game of the season. As August levels the count. He pinch ran for Shintaro Inoue in the second game. But so far, he's struggled against this Hyannis pitching staff that was at one point one of the better teams. Pick over at first, and Tanner Marsh just gets underneath it.
Yeah, that was a real close play, and just kind of to your point, Graham, it seems like a lot of these Mariners, during this season, it's just been the pitching completely leading the charge. I mean, a team 641 OPS.
Swing and a miss on a 1-1.
There's just not a lot of slug, and for Hyannis and Mitch Carricker, and I know it's kind of been the theme of July, that only amplifies how important it will be tonight for them to stay in the strike zone and not give them anything free.
The walks and free passes have plagued the Harbor Hawks. Another check. This time, there's no question that Marsh is safe. Over its last 17 games, Hyannis has walked 85. They've also struck out 151, which is unbelievable, but the free passes have been up there. Rung up on strikes. Back-to-back Ks for Tyler August, but only one out in the inning.
And he just got him guessing right here. Look at this, fastball, frozen pizza, and he opened up the inside shoulder. That's a great tunnel off that breaking ball. And it's stuff like that, Graham. If August can keep these guys off balance all night long, he's going to be rolling for Mitch Carricker.
Tyler August has had some phenomenal stuff throughout all of his appearances, and he has stretched pretty far. 3 innings against Harwich back on the first, 3 2/3 against Orleans. First pitch away to Aiden Robbins. In that ball game against Harwich on the first, went for 3 innings, allowed 3 hits and 2 runs, both of which were earned. He walked 1, but he struck out 6. This is the first time he's been down 2-0 in a count.
And for August, especially at Liberty, coming off a nice year where he had a 4 ERA in 27 innings, a 1.7 walks per 9, so he was in the strike zone.
Foul ball, 2-1.
And the strikeouts per 9 there as well at 12. So he is no stranger to dominance on the mound. Now it's about consistency and finding it against a really good competition in the Cape League. You know, a lot of SEC guys, of course, those numbers might dwindle down a little bit with the wood bats, but it's still an opportunity for August to show his stuff.
2-1, 2 straight foul balls. And this is some of the best competition you can have right now in the Cape League in Aiden Robbins. Robbins, as we saw, leading this team in batting average and on base percentage. His .317 average would be around 4th or 5th in the Cape League right now if his average qualified. Another check, and that one almost sailed Gabe Camacho. Robbins just a couple ABs short of getting that batting average to qualify. The 2-2. In for strike 3. Tyler August has a chance for a 4-strikeout inning.
And we come back to the same point. Had him guessing the wrong thing. That's a fastball down El Centro, and he clearly was thinking breaking ball right there. It's those types of at-bats, Graham, where if August can consistently get these hitters guessing, he's going to have them on a string all night long. It's going to be fun to watch from us.
Brings up Maddox Maloney. Tanner Marsh still at first. Takes a strike on a beautiful breaking pitch. Maloney, .233 average this season, is 1 for 8 in the season series against Hyannis. Well over the top of that one. 1 strike away. Maloney, his first game of the Cape League season was against this Hyannis team on the 15th. He's very familiar with the Harbor Hawks. Trying to extend an inning. 0-2. Just low. And I believe they might have called a balk.
Yeah, but they're calling off the pitch. So count will remain 0-2.
That moves Tanner Marsh over to second.
And that doesn't even count towards the pitch count. Of course, technically he's thrown 15 pitches, but also something to take into account.
Harwich has struggled with runners in scoring position as of late. Maddox Maloney with 1 swing of the bat could really change that. 0-2. Curveball misses. First time we've seen that pitch from August.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the slider. And now dropping in the loopy curveball. And what's good about that pitch is that the velocity dips down even further.
He rings him up. A 4-strikeout inning for Tyler August, and it's a hot start for the reliever making his first start.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
There hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
For each Harbor Hawks home run hit this season here at McKeon Park, $50 is donated to the Family Pantry of Cape Cod by Monomoy Real Estate and Construction and Pretty Picky Properties Select Vacation Rentals. Pretty Picky and Monomoy, the team with everything you need to hit a real estate home run on Cape Cod. Well, here's the batting order that Mitch Carricker has penciled in for his Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Jake Schaffner going to lead the way with Parker Brocious backing him off. Parker Brocious, he was leadoff for 7 of the 8 games he played in, but he's second to Jake Schaffner tonight. Then Jeff Lugie, Gabe Camacho, and Dayton LaChance. Bates, Briggs, and Mitchell, followed by Owen Prince, rounding out the 9. That batting order is going to be going up against Gianni Gambardella. Gambardella, 1-1 record this season, making his second start of the Cape League season. Similarly to August, hasn't started that much, but he's got some really good numbers and some really good break.
Yeah, 3.68 earned run average in 14 2/3 innings. The whip, how about a 1.159? So he's really limiting base runners. Doesn't strike out that many guys. He's only got 7 strikeouts in those 14 2/3, but he doesn't really need to, Graham, if he's able to get that type of result.
And he's actually starting his 3rd ball game. Started once against Orleans on the 15th, and then his first start was at Brewster on the 4th. Got the win against Brewster, took the loss against Orleans. As Jake Schaffner is going to lead things off for the Harbor Hawks. Schaffner takes a ball. He leads this team in on-base percentage at .411 right now. Second on the team in batting average, .305. Fouls this one down the left field line. Similarly to Harwich's Aiden Robbins, Schaffner's on-base percentage doesn't qualify in the Cape League. He got injured and missed quite a few games, but he would be 8th right now in the Cape League with that on-base percentage. Back-to-back foul balls.
And what you like to see from Schaffner is that he's really starting to slug. When I caught up with him about a week and a half ago, he told me that he wanted to find more power in his swing. And don't be deceived. Power is not just home runs. Of course, that is a result of power. But power is how hard you're hitting the baseball, and that equates to extra base hits.
Schaffner with a good take there. He played the first ball game that Hyannis had against Harwich. Went 2 for 3. Came across home plate, drew a walk as well, stole a base. He's taken back-to-back balls. He didn't play back on the first. That was right towards the tail end of his hand injury that he suffered at Falmouth on June 24th. Since being back, he has been phenomenal. Really found his stride with slugging, like you said. Payoff. Outside, ball 4. Hyannis gets a leadoff batter aboard.
And before the game, Schaffner coming in with 8 walks to 5 strikeouts. So that's not easy to do, to have more walks than strikeouts. And that's why Mitch Carricker slots him up at the leadoff spot. It's not only the batting average, but it's the eye.
And that already a fresh breath of air for Hyannis, who did not get a single leadoff batter on board in yesterday's ball game. Parker Brocious takes a strike, his first at bat back on the Cape. Brocious did play Harwich last season in the 8 games that he played. He went 0 for 2, but he drew 3 walks. That's why he was so valuable to this team. His ability to just get on base was phenomenal. Schaffner with a little start and stop, making Matt Conti behind the plate uncomfortable. Check over on Schaffner now. He's safe. Brocious, he got at least 1 hit in 3 of the 8 games he played. But perhaps the more impressive part, he scored at least 1 run in 7 of the 8 that he played. And he's ahead 2-1. This was the reason. The only game that he didn't score a run in was June 21st at Katuitt. But his ability to get ahead in a count is pretty second to none. Checks his swing. He's got 3 balls in the count.
And being able to get ahead in counts against a pitching staff, arguably the best pitching staff in the entire Cape League for Harwich, a 3.38 team earned run average. That is so crucial in this game because you're putting yourself in advantage counts. You're going to get more pitches to hit, let alone some walks.
Foul ball, count runs full. Brocious, a 6'2", 193-pound rising junior at Georgia Tech. Had a .298 average in 2024 with Georgia Tech. In 2025, slipped a little bit. That average now at 234. Was it 234? Runner goes in Schaffner. Foul ball, and we'll reset.
Definitely not a bad idea for Mitch Carricker, because Brocious, not a guy who strikes out all too often. Only 23 or 35 punch-outs in 55 games for the Yellow Jackets. He could put it in play, and Mitch Carricker trusts him.
Last game Brocious played was on April 20th, or that was the last game that he started. He went 0 for 3 in that game. After that, he was a pinch hitter and pinch runner a bunch. Schaffner goes again, another foul ball. And so maybe the hardest part of this for Brocious is going to be refining a rhythm, refining a groove after being in pretty good form last season, like you said.
Yeah, you make a good point, Graham, because a lot of these guys who come having played from the, college baseball playoffs, they're hot. They're fresh off, action. And a lot of these guys, their season ends in mid-May, late May. They have to take a full 2.5 weeks without a live AB if you're starting the Cape League.
Schaffner's safe.
But especially for those guys who come a little bit later, who also had their season end a while before, it's just a lot of off-season training to rest your body. But it might take a bit of time just to get back into your groove.
Another foul ball. Well, he's acting like he hasn't skipped a beat. That was the 7th pitch of the at-bat. And he truly seems like he just could not be more excited to be back in Hyannis. We spoke to him during batting practice and just had a big smile on his face. 3-2, Schaffner goes, and it's a drop pitch, so Schaffner is going to wheel around to third base. Conti struggling with the baseball, and Schaffner goes all the way from first to third.
Well, this is situational base running, folks. Jake Schaffner had it in his mind immediately, the idea of going to third base, and it was almost as if he baited Matt Conti. Conti didn't really have a sense of urgency, and Schaffner buys another 90 feet.
Hyannis, it has dealt a lot of free passes, but when it's given free passes, it does a good job of taking advantage of them. Here's the all-star Jeff Lugie. Cracks the first pitch to right center field, sending Nico Brini back to the track in the wall, and he's got it at the warning track. That's going to allow Schaffner to tag. Hyannis taking an early lead, but man, Jeff Lugie thought that he had his first home run of the Cape League season there for a second.
Missed it by that much. At least he got extended very deep, and most certainly deep enough for Schaffner to score. And this is an example of Hyannis manufacturing a run after the walk, taking advantage of the wild pitch, because Schaffner, he might have just been on second base. That would have been a long fly out, probably would have tagged the third, but then you got the double play in order, Graham.
First pitch to Camacho, sent down the third base side. A couple Mariners giving chase, and eventually it's D. Kennedy calling off and recording the second out. Here's the defensive alignment out there alongside D. Kennedy. In the outfield, Nico Brini and Aiden Robbins in center and right. Sam DiCarlo at third, Maddox Maloney at short, Tanner Marsh at second, and Sam Harris at first, with Matt Conti behind the dish. Here's Dayton LaChance with 2 outs in the inning. Well late on that first pitch. LaChance got off to a pretty good start. Got a hit in his first game at Bourne. Went 1 for 5. But since then, he's 0 for his last 9 with 4 strikeouts. Makes contact, sends it well high into foul territory. Sam Harris over towards the visiting dugout. It's just out of his reach. LaChance, rising sophomore, transferring to Oklahoma from McLennan. So this experience being in the Cape League could be exactly what he needs going into some good quality baseball.
And not to discredit JUCO baseball, but still not to the same level of competition as your classic SEC guys. I mean, LaChance, he's no stranger to success. 21 home runs, over 100 RBIs this past spring at JUCO.
pulled into left field, and that's going to be a base hit for Dayton LaChance, sending Parker Brocious into scoring position.
Stop from Stanford, number 17.
That's the kind of contact he's been looking for.
Probably a ball off the plate, but he's able to keep his barrel in the zone for a long time. And one of the better things about having a longer swing, specifically you want your swing to stay inside the strike zone for the longest time possible, and LaChance, kind of long and lanky, does exactly that.
LaChance has been hitting it pretty good in batting practice. He's had a couple loud cracks off the bat. Charlie Bates takes a strike on a breaking pitch. Bates has the second most hits on this ball club right now, which is unbelievable considering he only had 7 hits through his first 11 games. He's now at 19. Got back-to-back strikes. He went on an unbelievable tear. A 6-game hit streak from July 6th to July 13th. He's still looking to do some damage against Harwich. He's 0 for 8 against the Mariners. That one nearly gets him at the head.
And the last time these two teams faced on July 1st, that was kind of the middle of that slump for Bates, that 1 for 19, which he broke on July 6th with the triple against Brewster.
Fouls that one down the third base line. And this has kind of been why he's had so much success. His ability to battle in counts is totally flipped from the beginning of the season.
And especially during that slump, it wasn't just being able to battle in counts. It was not falling behind so fast, because he was falling behind 0-2 in almost every at-bat.
His 1-2 pulled right at Tanner Marsh. And he throws a strike for the third out of the inning. Jake Schaffner comes home to give Hyannis an early lead. Top 2 coming up after this.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home, with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
The lights at McKeon Park stay bright all season long thanks to the NAC Cape Cod. The NAC offers 2 locations, Hyannis and Orleans, both offering delicious burgers, tacos, sandwiches, and more. Visit thenaccapecod.com to order online today. The NAC Cape Cod is proud to be the Light Up the Park sponsor of the Harbor Hawks all season long. Well, it was a pretty cool first inning of work for Tyler August. A very rare 4-up, 4-down inning. A dropped third strike allowed Tanner Marsh to take first. He was the leadoff batter. And then Tyler August continued to strike out the next 3 that he saw. Can't count the last time, or can't recount the last time that I saw a 4-strikeout inning.
First time I've ever called a 4-strike inning.
Yeah. Matt Conti is going to try to switch things up for Harwich. First pitch swinging. Nice pick from Charlie Bates. The throw in time.
Well, look at him let this ball travel. You don't go too far early, because then you have your momentum going away from him. That nice spin throw. Impressive play.
Charlie Bates spent the majority of his freshman year at Stanford in the outfield. He spent a lot of time this summer in the outfield as well, but he's still got it over there at short. He said that he wants to keep playing in the infield.
We've seen him at all outfield positions and third and shortstop. You know what they say, Graham? If you can play shortstop, you can play pretty much anywhere on the diamond.
Brings up D. Kennedy for the first time. That one sounds like it got the home plate umpire, but Timothy Carey behind home plate, not too worried about it. Over at first, Joe LaBella, and at third base, Marvick Gomez makes up the umpiring crew for tonight's ball game. One to Kennedy. Foul tipped, and this time Brody Briggs got clipped. Briggs down in some serious pain. That's going to bring out Mitch Carricker. Brody Briggs, he's been playing in and out. Mitch Carricker has done a really good job mixing him in with a bunch of other catchers. Think of Matthew Chattel. Think of course, Von Lackey at the beginning of the season. But these kind of things still happen. Playing catcher is such a hard position on the body.
Arguably the most physically demanding position in all of sports, right? Catcher and a hockey goalie right at the top of the dome in terms of that part. But it's scary, you know. I only caught very briefly in my career, and I was like 8 years old, so nothing serious. This is the big leagues right here, and it's tough.
I've also heard hockey goalie is the comparison to being a catcher. Brody Briggs on his feet now, looking to shake it off, just needed some time. Brody Briggs has gotten clipped a couple of times this season. He's as tough as they come. And he's gearing up for a season at Arizona State where he's going to be the go-to guy. Brody Briggs set to go back down in his crouch. And D. Kennedy going to lock back into a 1-2 count. Kennedy has had an interesting season, leads this team in RBIs, but also in strikeouts, and is second on the team in drawing walks. He stays alive there. Batting average at .271. It's also always an interesting story when you've got a guy that strikes out a lot, but also walks a lot. 1-2. Fastball misses. What do you usually think when you see that, a guy striking out a lot but also walking a lot?
I mean, I think it's kind of an all-or-nothing swing to some degree, but, you know, you see guys hit for average that can be that sort of category. I mean, you talk about Aaron Judge. Of course, the first time he won MVP, he was one of the top strikeout hitters at the plate, but he still hit over 300 that year. So it's honestly kind of weird.
Payoff pitch. Gets Brody Briggs again.
Oh, that's on around the inner thigh area. That's really tough. A really tough break for Brody Briggs. He's waving off Mitch Carricker.
Yeah, exactly. Waves off the staff. Looks like it must have gotten him in a different spot than that first one, because he's right back into it, but it's just got to be frustrating.
Yeah, and they're all tough as nails. If you can't take the pain, you're not going to be a catcher. You have to lock into that.
Payoff again. We'll get a third.
And credit August for staying into this at bat. Of course, sort of a break in between pitches to a lesser degree. Of course, with the brief injury delays. But it's going to be so imperative that they don't give this Mariners team anything free.
3-2. Pulled right at Charlie Bates. A nice pick again. The throw low and dug out by Gabe Camacho.
Well, look at this running play from Bates. And look at him get around that ball. He tries to keep his momentum going towards first base. If he stayed towards home plate, that is a much harder throw with your momentum going across your body. So Bates took the extra gamble by taking about a half second just to get right around that ball and keep himself moving towards Camacho. And a nice pick on the other side.
2 outs, 2 6-3s in the scorebook. Charlie Bates has been busy in this inning. Brings Jake Coonan to the dish. Coonan takes a strike. He only played in the second game of the 2 that Hyannis and Harwich have played. It was 1 for 5, that one hit being a homer. Since then, he's really struggled. He's got a 138 average on the season. That's over 18 games and 58 at-bats. Currently on a 6-game on-baseless streak. And that's coming for a guy who set a program record in hit streaks at Princeton this last season. 22-game hit streak to open his 2025 season. But he just hasn't had the same juice here. Foul ball. Count runs even at 2.
Well, 3 home runs on the season, second on the Mariners behind Aiden Robbins, and one of those came against Hyannis back on July 1st.
Do the 2-2 again as Mitch Garricker makes a nice fielding play over in the dugout.
He made a really nice play as the third base coach last night in Brewster. It's the little things.
Another little thing to think of is these players say he throws the best BP of anyone they've ever hit against. Count runs full.
Some guys are just automatic like that. I remember when I used to throw BP to my brother, I'd get in my head, and then I would like hit him with a pitch, and then it's over. You know, you're just completely, you're domed up, quite literally. But Mitch Carricker's automatic.
Payoff. Misses low. August thought he had a second inning of, well, I was going to say 3 up, 3 down. It was 4 up, 4 down the first time. But it's a walk and brings up Sam Harris.
And if you're August, don't wave the white flag right here. That's a really impressive at-bat worked by Jake Coonan to end that 6-game on baseless streak. And he stayed in the strike zone, and what you like to see is that the pitch that he walked on, it was competitive, Graham.
Harris fouls the first pitch. Tyler August, that's the 8th walk that he's issued this season, only the first of the ball game. But he does a pretty good job at keeping that number low. Only 2 games with multiple walks in an outing for him.
Hold the string right there. He swung yesterday.
That is a nasty changeup. One of many pitches Tyler August has in his back pocket. Broken bat into center field. Owen Prince ends the inning. Jake Coonan draws a walk. Sam Harris can't bring him around. We're going to keep it right here because there's been an interesting development in the way that this season could pan out in the West Division. We'll send it down to Giovanni Collada for more.
Your question today is, what is Connor?
Thank you, Graham. There's certainly a lot of parity in this year's Cape Cod Baseball League standings compared to last year, where this summer just a few points separate first from worst in the respective divisions of the league. That's especially true of the West Division, where Wareham leads with 30 points coming into the day, but that record's at 500. There have been multiple days this summer where the West Division leader's record has been below 500. And if one of Cotuit, Falmouth, Bourne, Wareham, or Hyannis were to finish with more losses than wins this summer, it'd be the first time a division winner's had a record below 500 since 1982, when Chatham finished 20-21-2 atop its respective division. So that'd be a very rare occurrence, but it's certainly in play as we turn the page to the final 10 games. Back to you guys in the booth.
All right, thank you so much, Gio. That would be something, wouldn't it? Wareham right now atop the West, a 15-4 record as we play Who's That Harbor Hawk? We've been told this one's going to be tough. Max, you've got a better chance to get it than I do.
Let's see. Moderately hard. That's what the producer said. But I got Colin Ray, which is probably the hardest one of the summer.
You did. To your credit.
Your Virginia was with the Angels for a while. Okay. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
I'm drawing a blank. Come on.
Traded this year to the Rays.
I mean, I don't think he played for the White Sox, the guy I had.
Oh, I'm not sure. See if Giovanni Collada can get it as well. Should also thank our producer, Daniel Badalito, for finding some of those numbers. It's been a while since a team in the West has had a losing record. Here's Brody Briggs. He wore a couple back behind home plate in that last half inning. Briggs, one of the hottest hitters in the Cape League right now. He's tied for the most home runs on this team. He's only got a 186 record, but that doesn't reflect what he's done over the past couple games. He's gotten a hit in all of his last 4, including a perfect 2-for-2 performance with 2 RBIs and 2 walks against Falmouth on the 18th. And that was good enough to give him Hitter of the Week awards. And it feels like a big reason as to why he's had recent success is because the walk numbers have gone up a lot. 4 walks over his last 3 and 5 over his last 5. He's using his eye much better.
And the swing and miss has been down, of course not on that pitch, but it's good for Hyannis to have a guy like Briggs who's been here since day one really get going. So we're kind of on the final stretch of the season. It's the final countdown, you know, about 14 games left. It's now or never for this team.
Briggs fouls another pitch. He got off to a slower start this season. Played in both games against Harwich, is 0 for 6 in the season-long series. And he only had 2 hits sandwiched in between those 2 ball games on June 15th and July 1st. Rung up on strikes. The first K of the day for Gianni Gambardella.
The right fielder from NC State, number 28, Devin Mitchell.
Here's Devin Mitchell. He got off to another hot start, similar to Brody Briggs' last game that we mentioned. He was 2 for 3 with a home run, an RBI, and 1 strikeout his first time playing for Hyannis against Orleans. But since then, it's kind of been a struggle.
Yeah, and it's tough, especially when you start the summer off so strong, but he's got to stick to his approach, and where there's smoke, there's fire. There's a lot of talent.
He's down 0-2. He's 1 for his last 19 at the plate. That 1 hit coming against YD on the 15th. Gambardella. Can't find the zone there. Gianni Gambardella goes to the University of Maine. Finds the zone about 66% of the time. He's a strike thrower, but interestingly, his strikeout numbers aren't that high. He's just a guy that has some good movement, changes up pace pretty well, and gets weak contact.
And in today's game, it seems like everybody's looking for the strikeouts, but that doesn't always equate with a good ERA.
And he's got back-to-back Ks. That one foul-tipped back into the glove of Conti.
The center fielder from VMI, number 3, Owen Prince.
Well, this is what brings Harwich success. Got one of the best ERAs in the Cape League. In fact, the best ERA in the Cape League at 3.41. 9-hole hitter Owen Prince up to the dish. And right now, Gambardella's just pouring it in.
And this is what makes this Harwich pitching staff so dangerous, because if they can get in a groove, they're going to be really hard to face. Only a 1.2 whip as a team.
Ground ball right at Tanner Marsh. Second baseman ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Gianni Gambardella after a slow first inning. He's right back on his horse.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Let's take a look at the Cape League standings here on Cape League TV. It is tight from top to bottom in the East and the West. Brewster with a narrow lead right now over YD, who's been sitting atop the East for a while. And then in the West, it's just really a jumbled mess of points in the 30s and high 20s.
Well, how about Chatham? 29 points. They would be second place in the West. It just shows kind of the discrepancy. And, you know, you figure, oh, it's going to change. But all of a sudden, it's July 22nd. This is kind of the identity of what the Cape League's lining to look up. And a 3-point difference. Hyannis, 3 points from last, but 3 points from first. This division, it's up for grabs. Really, it's anybody's to grab. And any given team in this West might not even be playing postseason baseball in a couple weeks.
Yeah, it's really just anyone's game right now. We heard Giovanni Collada just a half inning ago talking about how it's been a long time since a winner of a division has had a losing record. That was all the way back. Excuse me, trying to find the number. It was all the way back in 1982 when Chatham won the East with a record of 20-21-1. Tyler August still on the mound after two very, very effective innings of work. And Brody Briggs no longer behind the dish. We saw him take a couple balls in the last inning. And it's Matthew Chattel behind home plate. Chattel did play his first ball game against Chatham just a couple days ago, as that one goes fouled on the third base line. But now a very different look and feel for Tyler August as he's pitching to a new catcher. That's totally going to change some things.
And the good thing about what the battery was that started the game was that these were two guys, August and Briggs, who were here on day one. And they've built up that chemistry that not a lot of guys can form on the Cape. And here it's kind of like you're back to square one. So it's going to be important to see how August responds.
1-2. Sam DiCarlo on the ground to Charlie Bates. He's been busy. And another good pick from Gabe Camacho.
Gabe Camacho is owed dinner by this entire Harbor Hawks infield. And let's not discredit the play. Charlie Bates making it look athletic. Still the throw low, but Camacho, as Mr. Charlie Adams said, he's automatic.
Camacho only one error over at first base in 16 games played. He has been phenomenal. As that sends it back to the top of the order, and Tanner Marsh. Marsh struck out his first time up, but reached first on a dropped third strike. Brody Briggs had trouble getting it from the pads behind home plate. Nice high fastball there from August.
Yeah, change the eye level. Looks so tantalizing as a hitter. And now he's got options because he's established the lower part of the strike zone and the upper part, so the tunnel is going to be filthy.
Sent into right field. Devin Mitchell trotting back to the track, but he's got room.
And I think the difference, or no, that's not the right word, why, at least so far, through the first time of the order, as they're now got the number 2 hitter coming up, it's been the first pitch strikes for August. He's been, like Camacho's been automatic with the scoops, he's been automatic in that category as well. 7 out of 9.
August did pitch in the All-Star game. Was only able to go one inning as both head coaches or both managers of those respective sides had to work in a bunch of different arms. Nico Brini takes a strike. 1 inning, allowed 1 hit, no runs, 1 strikeout. He has been phenomenal. And big reason why is because he's gotten ahead. On the ground, Charlie Bates with a chance for a 4th out of the inning. Or excuse me, not of the inning, of the game, and that one's late. It was a good effort from Bates, but he just had to range a little bit to his right, and it allowed a speedy Nico Brini to get a good jump.
Yeah, that's a tough one, especially with Brini being a left-handed hitter. He's almost walking to first base already after the swing, and there goes the no-hitter.
Tyler August has already stranded 2. But neither of those Mariners, got a hit. Tanner Marsh advanced to first on the dropped third strike, and Jake Coonan drew a walk. First pitch down low and away to Aiden Robbins. And another big reason for Hyannis' lack of success in the month of July is that when batters have gotten on base, the pitching has all of a sudden plummeted. Check over, and Breeny's safe. It's just like a little bit of nerves the second someone gets, especially on second or third, but even on first you can notice a bit of a difference.
Pressure gets to some guys.
Runner goes on the 1-0, in for a strike, the throw down high, and it gets over Jeff Lugie. Nico Breeny goes to third, the throw from Owen Prince is just late. Now 90 feet away sits the first run.
That'll probably be a stolen base, then E2 that allows him to advance to third. He pretty much had it stolen, but tough break for Hyannis because we mentioned the pressure kind of increases the fewer feet they have left to home plate.
It's also worth mentioning that Chattel did not start this ball game. If you're just joining us, it was Brody Briggs who got the start, but he wore a couple of pitches and couldn't come back in this third inning. So Chattel trying to get warm, and Nico Breeny got a great jump against him. Nice pitch there to level the count at 2. Robbins struck out his first time up. Was one of the first 4. All of them struck out. 2-2. Fouled off. Robbins played in the second game of this season-long series against Hyannis. Went 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. He's got a .317 batting average to lead the team, though. Pulled, Charlie Bates has another chance, bobbled it a little bit. The throw over the head of Camacho. That allows Nico Breeny to come home. We got a tie ball game at McKeon Park.
And it just amplifies the free passes. And it looked like Charlie Bates, the difference was he struggled to get it out of his glove and he rushed his throw. With the speedy runner in Robbins, probably just should have pocketed that one after the initial bobble, but you know, hindsight's 20/20.
So the inning keeps going. We mentioned free passes being the issue for Hyannis. It hasn't just been walks. There have been quite a few errors in the month of July that have really plagued the Harbor Hawks. First pitch ball to Maddox Maloney. Maloney struck out his first time up. There's a lot of excitement surrounding him when he came to the Cape League a little bit later than others. Rising junior at Oregon. In 2025, led the team in hits. Also had the 4th best batting average. That's sitting at .309. But he just hasn't had the same success in the Cape League. A .233 batting average. Could be the wooden bat. Could be just coming to a little bit late. Trying to get used to a new team. But that's just what these players have to deal with a little bit out here. He's had 3-0. Draws a 4-pitch walk.
And this is where it gets really important for August to just take a second aside and kind of regroup because he was doing so well, and it's tough. 2 errors in the inning alone going against him. And timely visit from Blaze Martinez.
It was a quick 2 outs. Sam DiCarlo grounded out to shortstop Charlie Bates, and then Tanner Marsh flew out to Devin Mitchell. And then Nico Breeny singles. He steals second, advances to third on the error from Matthew Chattel behind home plate. And then Charlie Bates with an error there in the infield allows Aiden Robbins to take first. Now Martinez will retreat. August already 55 pitches in this ball game. He threw 30 his last time pitching for Hyannis. That was against YD on the 15th of July. That was over 2 innings, allowed 1 hit, 1 run, which was earned with 1 walk and 2 Ks. First pitch inside and low to Matt Conti. For Tyler August, this is his first start since July 13th, 2024. It's when he was with Danville in the Northwoods League. Pitch inside, 2 straight balls. He got the loss going for 2 innings. Allowed 4 hits, 7 runs, 3 of which were earned. Walked 2, struck out 1, allowed 1 home run. So a bit of the same where the errors really just didn't help him out. He had a tough time getting out of those innings. 3 straight balls.
And that was, I believe, a 4-pitch walk before as well. So make it 7 straight. It's tough because he was in such a rhythm, and then the free passes really taking him out of that rhythm.
That time he finds the zone for a first strike of the count. He just lost his command a little bit. Even with that fastball, which we know is a great pitch, it was just sailing a little bit on him. The 3-1 foul down the right field line. All of a sudden, we got a full count. Tyler August's ability to fight and battle, that's what's made him so special this season. That's what made him an all-star.
Especially in that long relief against Orleans, when it kind of started for him, it was his ability to pull himself out of stuff like this.
Payoff, runners go. The pitch is high. Back-to-back walks. That's now 3 on the appearance. The start for Tyler August. That's the most he's had in a game this season. And we got some arms warming up for Hyannis down the third base line. Tsubasa Tommy up and moving. As August delivers a first pitch strike to D. Kennedy. That's what's been missing in these past couple of bats is Tyler August hasn't gone up in any of them. A 1. Fouled off a little bit of a safety swing from D. Kennedy.
Yeah, he got badly fooled. It seemed like he almost changed his mind mid-swing, and he still made contact with it. I say go to the slider outside, play off that inside part of the plate.
0-2. Ripped down the left field line, and it's in play. 1 comes home for Harwich. 2 comes home for Harwich, and the 3rd will get the stop sign as the ball comes back into the infield. 3-1 lead for the Mariners. Their first time leading Hyannis in this ball game.
Well, it was a challenge fastball, and Kennedy just beat August right there.
And it's all starting to unravel a bit for Tyler August. The most runs he's allowed in an appearance this season has been 2. Jake Coonan foul tips 1. And this is how quickly it's felt like it's changed for Hyannis in the month of July. 2 really good and quick innings for Tyler August. Then a couple mistakes lead to a long 3rd. Right at Charlie Bates. Got a chance to end the inning, and he will. Harwich get 3 in the top of the 3rd, take the lead over the Harbor Hawks heading into the bottom of the inning.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Bottom of the third inning, Hyannis trailing the Harwich Mariners. As it will be Jake Schaffner, Parker Brocious, and Jeff Lugie, 1, 2, 3, due up for the Harbor Hawks. It's the third time that these teams have met. Last time all the way back on the 1st of this month. That was at Harwich. And Hyannis took a lead and never let go of it. The Mariners would come up and eventually tie them in the 6th inning, and they would stay that way all the way through the 10th. But this is the first time this season that the Mariners have led against Hyannis flat. And a big reason has been that offense for Hyannis has been a little too much to overcome, but now with the offense slipping a little bit, its pitching is having a hard time keeping up. Schaffner pops the first pitch foul.
Now the question is, what is the response from Hyannis? Because back in June, when they were the best hitting team on the Cape, they were just bombarding pitching left and right. Now it's not necessarily the case.
Right at the second baseman, Tanner Marsh cleans up. One out in the bottom of the third.
Because at least back in June, when the pitching wasn't always perfect, the bats were kind of the steady hand of consistency for Mitch Carricker. And now, even when the pitching's doing well, it seems like the bats sometimes kind of out of sync. This is the opportunity now where the fielding really gets to them. They make a couple errors, take August out of his rhythm.
The Hawks did a pretty good job of battling in yesterday's game against Brewster. The game was called early due to darkness, only played through the top of the 8th. But every time that the Whitecaps scored, Hyannis got one back. This is 2 straight balls to Brocious. And as a result, Mitch Carricker was actually very happy with the performance from the Harbor Hawks. That one catches the zone. The Hawks hoping that Parker Brocious can bring a little bit more momentum to this team right now. Had a .250 average his last summer with the Harbor Hawks. Only played 8 games, but got on base nearly 50% of the time. He drew 8 walks, already has one in this ball game, and is now looking at a full count.
Well, second full count of the day in as many attempts for Brosens, excuse me, and he's been seeing a lot of pitches, which is really important.
3-2, fly down the third base line. A couple Mariners giving chase, and it's the shortstop, Maddox Maloney, who records the out.
Second baseman from Duke, number 12, Jeff Lugie.
And I don't think that the Harbor Hawks are hoping for a crazy performance or a crazy good stretch of baseball from Parker Brocious. If anything, maybe just a little change in the feelings in the dugout, because wins have been pretty hard to come by in July.
Yeah, it's all about vibes, and especially right now when the team has been kind of struggling for such an extended period of time. Sometimes you need an energy guy, the glue guy we've talked about. You know, there's the wins above replacement stat in MLB. WAR, how about VAR, vibes above replacement? You can't put a number on that.
Jeff Lugie's brought good vibes to Hyannis since being here.
Great vibes. Every time he comes up, our interns give him his nickname shout, Luge.
He was working a 9-game hit streak before going 0 for 4 yesterday at Brewster. And the reason he's had so much success is because he always seems to put the ball in play. He's only struck out 2 or more times twice this season. That one just goes foul. but he's always competitive. He always works these counts. He's never really out of an at-bat. And more often than not, he gets a pretty good line drive there into the outfield. Right now working a team best 321 average. That one pokes through, and Luigi has his first hit of the ball game.
Well, back-to-back quabs for Luigi. He had the deep sac fly to right center field, and then he works a two-strike single. Turkey bacon abaquabo.
Brings up Gabe Camacho, who did not play yesterday. He's working a 3-game on base streak, though, and feels like he's really hitting the ball well and hitting it hard right now. He's well out in front of that one.
It's been a couple days since we last saw Gabe, but the last time out back here at McKeon Park, he had 2 lineouts over 100 miles an hour. Nothing to show for it, but the swing's got to be feeling good, Graham.
That's what he said. He felt like his swing is good right now. It's just been that those hits, and specifically the extra base hits, have been hard to come by. Only 2 right now to speak of, a double and a triple. Through this many games of his collegiate season, which that number at 17, Camacho had 3 doubles and 3 home runs. Runner goes, the pitch is high for a ball. Luigi is well late, and that'll end the inning. Luigi with that late single, but he's caught stealing on the base path. Still 3-1 Harwich. Tsubasa Tommy is the first reliever of the ball game for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, making his 7th appearance, but only his 4th relief appearance. All of his last 3 times coming to the mound, he's started for Hyannis and Mitch Carricker. He's had a really, really good last couple of appearances. His season kind of up and down, struggled a little bit early. But right now, sitting with a 3.38 ERA over 16 innings pitched. He struck out 18, and purely on his movement. He doesn't have super high velocity. He's coming in for Tyler August, who had a really strong start, but kind of fell towards the end of his outing.
Yeah, it was the errors that really got to him because he fell out of rhythm. 3 innings, 2 hits, 3 runs. All of them were earned because they got on non via those errors. 3 walks and 4 strikeouts. And kind of one that I guess Hyannis, especially if they can't come back, will look back on and say, if those errors didn't happen in that inning, what could have been, Graham? Because this is a Harwich team that struggles at the plate throughout the season. A 641 OPS coming in, we mentioned at the top of the show. And when you give them stuff for free, that's when you can take your pitchers out of rhythm. And that's what happened. And they got the big hit with D. Kennedy's double.
Tommy set to face 8-9-1 in this Mariners order. Top of the 4th inning, 3-1 ball game. And a beautiful breaking ball gets a first strike. Tsubasa Tommy, 3-pitch mix, fastball, curveball, and slider. That fastball only sits around 84, 85, so he really relies on those pitches. The slider is by far his favorite. That one misses low.
And it got a piece of him.
It's the 4th free pass via walks and hit batsman. The first hit batsman of the ball game. But if you include errors, that's now 6 free passes.
It's been kind of the calling card of Hyannis ever since July 1st. You know, when these two teams last faced off at White House Field.
That's the first time Tsubasa Tommy has hit someone this Cape League season. He's kept it incredibly clean, but that one just caught Sam Harris. Sam DiCarlo takes a ball. Tommy only allowed 2 earned runs over his 5 relief appearance innings. That was against Brewster, against Chatham, and against Falmouth. He's yet to play this Harwich team. Ground ball right at Tommy. 1, 4, 3 double play. Tsubasa Tommy with a couple fist bumps.
Well, I was just about to mention only 1 double play grounded into by Sam DiCarlo, but not anymore. And credit Tommy, he had that ball immediately on the sharp comebacker, and he could have just fired that the second, but he recognized that Jeff Luigi wasn't there yet. So he had to almost pump fake, keep his momentum going towards the bag. Because some guys get a little overzealous with it, and they, oh shoot, I just fired it to nobody. And that's in center field.
Tommy has been so sharp this entire season. That's why he keeps getting put in important spots. His first pitch is away. It's Tanner Marsh, top of the order.
A filthy sweeper, nonetheless. It's lateral movement right there.
Marsh 0 for 2 on the day. Reached first on a dropped first strike back in the first inning. Flew out to right in the third. After his fly ball in the third, that's when Nico Brini sparked a little 2-out rally. Tommy's 2-0. Turns into 2-1.
There's that slider once again. It's his number 1 pitch. Up at a 3,000 plus RPM on any given one. And no wonder he goes back to it consistently.
2-1. Another breaking pitch, that time the curve. He's just put so much spin on the baseball, and it's kind of because he has to. Again, his velocity not really up there, but his ability to move pitches and get guys mixed up with speeds and locations, pretty second to none right now. Two with 2 outs. Hit right back up the middle and into the outfield.
Well, that's just a great piece of hitting. Goes back to another slider right there. And look at him get the barrel out. And that's really all you got to do as a leadoff hitter. It's not about how hard you hit it. It's about hitting it where they ain't and getting any life you can in the order.
2-out rally really caused some issues for Hyannis pitching in the last inning. Tommy is going to try to not let that happen here. When we spoke to the Harwich broadcasters before the game, they said that 2-out RBIs, 2-out hits in general, were very hard to come by right now for this Mariners team. Most of their runs have come with no outs. So it's pretty refreshing for this team to see more of those hits and see more of those chances with 2 outs on the scoreboard. Check over on the runner, and Tanner Marsh is safe. Over the 2 games that these teams have played, the bats for Harwich have really struggled. Pulled down the first base line and foul. The bats struck out a combined 31 times, including 18 in the second game these two played back on July 1st. Only walked 9 times. There's only 1 extra base hit. It was a 2-run homer from Jake Coonan in game 2. So don't look past the 3 hits right now on the scoreboard for Harwich. Those have not been easy to come by for them. And when they do get the hits, it's pretty easy for them to pour on, which kind of matches up with Hyannis' inability to get guys out in big moments. Tommy's 2-1. pulled right at Camacho and it hops off his shoulder. Tanner Marsh rounds second and is going to third, and now time is called as Gabe Camacho is in some pain.
Yeah, it exited the field of play, so they'll award him second base, but it went right off the wrist, and that is tough. There's not a lot of course, padding around that right off the bone.
Mitch Carricker going to run over and check on him, but Camacho is on his feet and just trying to walk it off. That one was rifled right at the first baseman. That's now the third time that a baseball has hit a Hyannis player in this ball game. Of course, the first two just being Brody Briggs behind the plate, which maybe isn't as surprising considering that catchers do get nicked from time to time. But Camacho really had to wear that one.
I think it took a tough hop off the lip of the grass, because Camacho expected that to stay down, and then it hit that lip, and it's a double, but it just kind of kicked up on him right out the wrist area, and it's a tough break.
That's only Brini's third double of the season, as Camacho's still getting looked at. It seems like he'll stay in the game. And now the Mariners with a real chance to pour on. Over the 2 games played against Hyannis, the Mariners a combined 2 for 12 with runners in scoring position, 1 for 6 in both ball games. They've really struggled in that category, not just against Hyannis, but over the course of the season. First pitch to Aiden Robbins. Taken low for a ball. Robbins 0 for 2 on the day, struck out his first time, reached first on an error the other. He leads this team in home runs, also in batting average and on base percentage. That time, the curveball locates. And they call it a balk. That's the second of this ball game. And so Harwich brings across their third run.
Just more and more free passes as Mitch Carricker's going to go out and have a conversation with Mike Rabideau, who was at the Brewster game last night.
Tanner Marsh and Nico Brini both awarded free bases on the balk. Marsh comes home.
Well, I was looking at my scorebook, so I didn't really notice, but the most common, I can't even think of the word of it, the most common reason why is either they move the shoulders or they don't come set.
Mitch Carricker still asking for this explanation. We don't see him argue that much with umpires in their decision, but he is very adamant right now that that was not a balk. Also, the second time a balk's been called in this ball game. Hyannis pitching with 5 balks over the course of the season, as Carricker will go back to the dugout. And now there's another arm warming up for the Harbor Hawks down the third base line. Both of the innings where the Mariners have scored, it's been a 2-out rally in pretty unconventional ways. A couple errors from the Harbor Hawks allowed the Mariners to score in that last inning. Now a balk. Back to Aiden Robbins. He fouls one that clips Matthew Chattel in the hand.
Yeah, right on the fingers. Just a tough break for Hyannis in this game. You know, Briggs, Camacho. Now Chattel takes one.
Good pitch there from Tsubasa Tommy. Hyannis pitching right now, 7th in the league in ERA, 8th in WHIP. Those numbers at 4.49 and 1.44. Count runs level at 2. They've allowed the second most walks with 140. But at the same time have struck out the most in the Cape League at 287. That's 26 ahead of Falmouth, who sits in second place.
And let's not forget, against these Mariners on July 1st, about 18 punch-outs on the day.
2-2 runs the count full. 18 of 30 outs were strikeouts that day. But what Mitch Carricker told us then and has always told us this season, it doesn't matter if they're not getting the wins. And Tommy has to step off, and it's called another balk. Nico Brini was dancing, and Harwich leads 5-1.
Yeah, there's going to be no contest from Mitch Carricker. This one, it looks like Tommy got flustered by seeing him take off. Look him just stop his motion and kind of awkwardly step off. That one an easy call.
2 runs this inning for Harwich, both awarded by balks from Tsubasa Tommy. Charlie Bates ends the inning. Harwich with a strong 5-1 lead. Hyannis going to try to clap back in the bottom of the 4th. Hyannis and Harwich, 2 teams with very different identities this season as we take a look at how they compare. The Mariners, best pitching team in the Cape League. Hyannis at one point was the best batting team. Now they're around 5th with that average. But it's been the pitching for Hyannis that's really caused issues so far in this game.
Yeah, how about the ERA separated by over an entire run? Kind of not best to worst, but just Harwich has been the steady hand of consistency on the mound this year. Hyannis, they've showed their flashes of it, but it's just hasn't been to be here in July.
Gabe Camacho going to lead off. A good sign for Mitch Carricker and the Harbor Hawks after he wore one on the hand just a half inning ago. Hyannis' ERA that we just saw at 4.46, 7th in the Cape League right now. Camacho sends the first pitch to right field. Aiden Robbins with a couple steps. And that right there, that has been the frustration for Gabe Camacho. He feels like he's hitting it well, and he literally said every time he makes contact, it's right at a defender. Here's Dayton LaChance with a single on the day already. LaChance, that single, it was only his 2nd hit this season. It was 1 for his last 14. That 1 hit came at Bourne in his season opener. He struck out 5 times already. Just hasn't had his best eye in this season. Pulled on the ground, slowed by the grass. Sam DiCarlo keeps it in the infield. What a play from the third baseman.
What a play indeed. And if that ball got by, and that is ticketed for left field. And look at him get up quickly. He knows he does not have a lot of time, and he makes a strong throw still.
2 quick outs for Gianni Gambardella in his 4th inning of work. Now faces Charlie Bates, who's been one of the hardest outs this Cape League season, especially as of late. Bates working a 10-game on base streak. And that's largely been because of the walks. He's got 6 walks over his last 4 games, which is incredible to think about. He only drew 1 walk through his first 11. And it's been because he hasn't expanded the zone, although he did there. Bates now tied for the most walks on this Hyannis team. He's down in the count. Only a .264 average, but he's hitting .307 in the month of July. Stays alive. Bates started the month 0 for 10. Since then, he's been 12 for 29. The double, a triple, 3 RBIs, 9 walks, and 12 Ks. Foul tips one right back into the glove of Matt Conti, and that ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Gianni Gambardella. Still a 5-1 ball game.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home, with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Another new pitcher on the mound for Hyannis. It's Brandon Oliveira. Oliveira ending the day for Tsubasa Tommy after a tough outing. And Oliveira making his debut for the Harbor Hawks tonight.
Yeah, right-hander out of Miami-Dade College. That's a JUCO. 16 2/3 innings. About 11 earned runs in that. So the ERA a little bit high at 5.94. But he made 4 starts and 5 appearances. And last summer, he's with the Martha's Vineyard Sharks.
Tommy struggled a bit on the mound. Got 2 quick outs, but then it just kind of all went downhill as the Mariners started to get on base. 1 for 1 inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, both of which were earned, both of which he balked home. So the 5-1 ball game could very easily look like a 3-1 ball game right now. And it's been the mistakes. We keep coming back to it. The Mariners saw 8 different batters come up in the 3rd and 5 different in the 4th. Just their ability to get more chances is really hurting the Hyannis pitching.
And we talked about it at the top of the show. This is a Harwich team that is among the bottom feeders in terms of offense. The team, .222 batting average, .641 OPS. How about a slugging percentage at a measly .310 coming into this game? And it's been the free passes that have really supplied them with their firepower. Of course, the big double from D. Kennedy, but outside of that, Hyannis really almost gifting them a lot of these runs.
Oliveira going to face Maddox Maloney, Matt Conti, and D. Kennedy. All 3 of them have gotten on base in this ball game. Maloney drew a walk, Conti followed, and D. Kennedy singled. All of those happening in the 3rd inning.
Oliveira, a guy who started off his career at Miami, the ACC, then moved to JUCO. You don't always see that too often.
At Miami, he had a pretty good season. He only allowed more than 2 earned runs in an appearance once. And he made 24 appearances. The Oregon Duck, Maddox Maloney, leads off the inning. Takes low. Oliveira has been around for a while, but just hasn't gotten his chance. And he's got a really high release angle, release point. Much different from August, who's well low, and then Tommy, who's pretty standard. He's got a fastball, a slider, and a changeup. And fastball topping out at 94. The slider comes in decently quick as well, around 83, 85. That one skips in.
It's important for him to stay in the strike zone right here because kind of trying to turn the page on the way the first 2 pitchers went for Hyannis. Of course, August, the hot start.
On the ground, the left side, fielded by Jake Schaffner. He gets the first out of the inning.
Well, Oliveira, very much so a ground ball pitcher, and they call those money pitchers because that's what you want to do. You want to keep the baseball on the ground. It's going to give your fielders the best chances possible to make a play, and especially when you eliminate the opportunity of slug, especially as you get to this middle part of the order.
That's the 4th time that the leadoff hitter in this ball game for Harwich has gotten out. A sordid swing there from Conti. It's been the 2-out rallies that have really hurt Hyannis. The only leadoff batter to get on is Sam Harris, and he was hit by a pitch. So it comes down to, can the pitchers finish the job? And there, one of your least favorite pitches, Max, the uncompetitive one.
Yeah, and it's really plagued the Hyannis bullpen specifically this year. We keep coming back to the fact that Hyannis has the best starting pitching ERA in the entire Cape League. And then you take into account, once you hand it off to those middle innings, you know, most recently, of course, they had that brief 2-game winning streak and then the unfortunate loss. But that game at Bourne last week, it was the middle innings that really plagued Hyannis, and Mitch Carricker even highlighted that when we talked to him after the game.
A flip just seems to switch when we hit the middle innings. The Harbor Hawks have a really tough time getting ahead in counts, it feels like. It's always around level, more balls in this than strikes. That one flied well into the outfield. Owen Prince and Parker Brocious around the area. And Prince makes the out in center.
And I think a lot of it comes down to keeping guys off the base paths, because as soon as you grab traffic, that's when you put that pressure back on yourself. And clearly we saw, especially with Tsubasa Tommy, all those balks as soon as guys got on base.
D. Kennedy 1 for 2 on the day with a single. That one catches. Kennedy working a 4-game on base streak that extended now to 5 with that single back in the 3rd. He's down 0-2. In for strike 3. Brandon Oliveira's first inning of work for the Harbor Hawks is a 3-up, 3-down inning. Strikes out D. Kennedy to end it. As we will stay here, send it to our very own Ethan Wax for more.
Thanks, Graham. Could it be that it's the hot dogs? Home cooking has not tasted so good this year, as teams across the Cape Cod League have struggled at home, with only Brewster and YD sporting home winning records. Collectively, the league is just 63 and 74 at home this year. They went 107 and 86 this last year. No team more reflected this trend than the Harbor Hawks. Last year, the Hawks were dominant at home, going 16 and 3, which allowed the team to post the league's second best overall record and win the West, despite having a losing record on the road. This year has been a much different story as the Hawks have struggled at home, going just 5 and 8. The problems have come both at the plate and on the mound. Hawks pitching has an ERA of over 5 at home, more than a run worse than on the road, and a run and a half worse than last year's team. The Bats have struggled at home, scoring 4 runs per game, nearly 2 runs worse than on the road, where the Hawks are a game over 500. When the team hitting 270 at home, second best in the league and 45 points above its road average, it has been the inability to hit with runners in scoring position that has been the culprit. Could the players be pressing in front of the home fans? With just 5 home games remaining after tonight, the Hawks will likely need to improve their play at home if they want to move up in the standing. Guys?
Thank you so much, Ethan. Bottom of the 5th inning, Graham Nash alongside Giovanni Collada in the booth with you. As Brody Briggs would be due up, but it's Matt Chattel, as Briggs came out due to an injury. Chattel lines the first pitch right at Tanner Marsh. There's one away. Gio, it's been pretty up and down for Hyannis pitching, and the Bats really haven't been able to get much done either.
It sure has, and those first couple of walks to lead off the game really saw a promising start, especially from Parker Brocious in his first Cape League at-bat in over a year. But now for just a couple of hits since then, it's really been a difficult outing against John Burdella.
John Burdella still dealing up there as Devin Mitchell takes a strike. Mitchell struck out his first time up, that back in the 2nd inning. Cued foul. That one tried to stay fair. I think the best way that we can really summarize how this game has gone, the Mariners 3 batters away from flipping the order for a 3rd time, getting Tanner Marsh his 4th at-bat. Meanwhile, Hyannis 2 batters away from flipping it for a 2nd time and getting Schaffner his 3rd at-bat. 0-2's high.
And what's one of the problems, Graham, we've brought up, it feels like time and time again, because it continues to be an issue. Free passes. You balk in 2 runs in the 4th, and you also let up those errors to compound that 3rd inning.
Pulled. Just fair. Sam DiCarlo with a long throw. And he pulls Sam Harris off the bag. We got your answer for who's that Harbor Hawk. Max and I were pretty confused.
Ooh, I don't even know who that is.
I can't say I do either. We got a couple bad students of baseball up here in the booth.
Getting a couple scoffs from our producers in the back, the big baseball nerds that make these questions. Wow, that's a tough one. That was, what was that, a moderately hard?
That was moderately hard.
I do not even want to see what really hard looks like.
And extremely hard might be the day that we might leave. Bunt from Owen Prince. He's got a lot of speed, going to try to leg it out. He just can't. It allows Chattel to go over to 3rd. Or excuse me, Devin Mitchell to go over to 3rd.
Love that play from Owen Prince, and his speed, even though it wasn't enough to beat the throw from DiCarlo, Graham, it had an effect on this play because Devin Mitchell got such a good jump off the first base bag that with the rest of the infield covering Prince, he caught them asleep and took 3rd base and now sits 90 feet away from Hyannis trying to scrape back into this game. That's a big run at this point in the game, and Prince having an effect.
It flips the order as well to Jake Schaffner. Schaffner 0 for 1 with a walk this ball game. Takes right down Broadway. The 2 times that these teams have played each other, Hyannis has really relied on the big hits. 2 doubles and 2 home runs over the 2 games, but right now they're playing some small ball.
And they don't have the big hit yet, frankly, because they haven't had the opportunity to outside the 1st inning. And so for a guy like Jay Schaffner, Graham, who's got a couple of big hits this season, most notably the Grand Slam last Thursday at Chatham, he could be the spark plug to this comeback.
Fly ball, third base side. D. Kennedy giving chase, and he's got it right in front of the Hyannis pitching staff. And that is going to end the inning. Came up on me quick. Tevin Mitchell got a single, can't come home. Still 5-1 Harwich.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Hey Harbor Hawks fans, did you know the Nat Cape Cod is the official Light Up the Park sponsor of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks all season long? Thanks to the NAC, the lights at McKeon Park stay bright all summer as the future stars take the field. With 2 convenient locations in Orleans and Hyannis, the NAC is the perfect spot for a burger, taco, sandwich, and much more. Visit thenatcapecod.com to learn more or order online. Brandon Oliveira still on the mound for his second inning of work, and well earned. It was a quick 3-up, 3-down inning.
Yeah, really worked well through that very difficult part of the order, at least one that's given him trouble today. D. Kennedy with a double to bring home a couple of runs in the third inning. He gets him swinging with a very decent pitch mix. Obviously hasn't come into a game yet this year, Graham, but in his first outing, he started off strong.
He takes the place of Tsubasa Tommy, or took the place of Tsubasa Tommy, who struggled in his one inning. And before Tommy, August also struggled in the third. August got off to a blazing hot start. A 4-strikeout first inning after Tanner Marsh got to first base on a dropped third strike. And now Oliveira trying to settle the Hyannis pitching and defense, as there's also been a couple errors on the day for the Harbor Hawks. Jake Coonan takes a ball low. Coonan drew a walk in the second, grounded out in the third, but that walk ended a 6-game on-baseless streak. That one just misses. He set a program record with Princeton in 2025 for with a 22-game hit streak going. He couldn't expand the on-base streak much past that. But for a guy who's just an on-base machine, this has been a really tough stretch for him. He takes a strike there.
I think the interesting thing for Oliveira coming into this frame is the same thing we ask of Tyler August when he goes into the second. How does he respond to a fast first inning of work? 4-strikeout inning to begin the game for Tyler August. Then he faltered a little bit.
That one skips past. 5-pitch walk. And Chattel's got to give it a little chase so that Coonan can't take second.
We heard Max say it all throughout those first 5.5 innings, Graham, that uncompetitive misses, in addition to free passes, continue to plague this team. But let's bring the two together. Uncompetitive misses, for the most part, at least on the walks end, are causing the free passes for Hyannis, as it did just there from Brendan Oliveira.
It's the 4th walk of the day for Hyannis pitching staff. Sam Harris, who's up now, was also hit by a pitch his last time up.
We don't normally loop balks into the free pass category, Graham, because there haven't been a ton of them this season across the league. Or I can't speak for the rest of the league. For Hyannis, that's truly. But there's been 3 tonight, so throw those in there as well.
Only 5 balks on the season coming into the night. Chopper over the head of Camacho, but foul. And something that Max and I were talking about as well is that it seems like the second that someone gets on base, the pitching kind of takes a dip.
It feels like pitchers across the board are getting a little rattled. I mean, Tyler August did a nice job in that first inning, but look at this second inning. You have the single to Nico, or rather, I'm looking at the wrong side. 2-out single from Nico Brini, error on catcher Matthew Chattel. He wasn't able to shake that for those runs.
1-1, runner goes, pitches high. The throwdown from Chattel, just late. Second stolen base of the day for the Mariners, the first for Jake Coonan.
It's a combo of a great jump and a throw from Matt Chattel that takes Jeff Luigi too far off the bag. Or rather, that would be the shortstop covering Charlie Bates. So that doesn't help out the pitcher either to continue that conversation, Graham. He's got to get help from his infield.
It's only the third stolen base of the season for Jake Coonan. As we're going to have time called, Chattel's going to talk with Brandon Oliveira. Harwich and Hyannis right now knotted up with 46 steals apiece. That's fifth in the Cape League. The Harbor Hawks at one point led the league in steals, that ending the month of June. But since then, they've totally lost that identity.
And remember that first game opening day, they stole 3 or 4 bases in those first 5 innings. Really showed the aggression along the base paths, and that lack of aggression has coincided with this difficult month of July.
2-1 is up.
Curious to see the fastball usage from Brandon Oliveira because he hasn't gone to it as much as I'd expect, especially with the top of the order due up. I imagine he'd want to get that heater dialed in. He tunnels with a slider and a changeup.
Swing and a miss there. Oliveira hasn't had to climb back much in this appearance. He's been ahead pretty much the entire time.
Certainly in the 5th, his first inning of work. And also on that walk as well.
Swing and a miss. First out of the inning.
Second K for Brandon Oliveira as well. See here, he tunneled those breaking balls all the time so he could go to this fastball outside. Kind of drifts off to the upper corner of the zone, and Harris is ahead.
We do have a pitcher warming up for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Another new pitcher, Henry Chabot. Been some very excited fans and staff waiting for his first appearance. They're just a couple outs away from seeing it. Sam DiCarlo takes a ball.
A couple guys who haven't gotten in at all, right?
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing about this spot, down by 4 runs. You maybe want your guys to be familiar, but no, Mitch Carricker said all summer long that he wants to get guys in opportunities at any and every spot, both of the infield and situationally.
It's 0-1 for Sam DiCarlo. He fouls one off. DiCarlo 0 for 2. He grounded into a double play back in the 4th after Sam Harris got hit by a pitch in front of him. DiCarlo very new to this team. He's only played 2 games for the Mariners. Over 6 at-bats, he's only had 1 hit. But he has found a way to get on base in both games. He has a walk, along with 3 strikeouts. Fights off a second straight pitch. And it's absolutely crunch time. These rosters right now are shaping up to be the ones that these teams will end with. So for these new guys, they don't have a lot of time to get into form.
Right after the All-Star break, they call it evacuation day, where everyone, not everyone, but most of the guys that were here all summer waiting for the All-Star game due to their merits prior to the All-Star break itself, they're out. So now, as you said, Graham, these rosters are the ones that are going to be here in the postseason.
0-2 is low. Great example of that is Trey Broussard for this Harwich team. He's still on the roster and still very much available. But since that All-Star game where he was All-Star MVP, he has not played.
And that's Steve Englert, Cape Cod Baseball League reigning champion, trying to get the guys that will need to get in those reps.
Breaking ball misses well high.
You mentioned the challenge of having to implement a lot of new faces so close to the postseason. How about Mitch Carricker having to do that? Over 13 new players coming in since July 7th alone. So the benefit for him is that it happened earlier in the month. It coincided with that slump for the team, and now they're beginning to find their legs with the guys that will be here for the rest of the summer.
2-2. Count runs full. These are also the kinds of at-bats that have really plagued Hyannis. The Hawks have gone up 0-2 and quite a few games as of late. But then the count runs full, and it usually leads to a walk or a hit. Payoff. This time in for strike 3. Back-to-back Ks for Brendan Oliveira. And the Hawks 1 out away from ending the top of the 6th. But Mitch Carricker is coming out to the mound, has already made a signal to the bullpen. Looks like he wants to get a new arm in there. And he sure will. We got a new, fresh arm that has never been seen before for this Hyannis Harbor Hawks team. Coming up, we'll be right back.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so like seeing all the behind-the-scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing. And I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what like the major kind of entails of doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting. So I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Henry Chabot making his first appearance for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks this season. 6 foot, 220-pound rising senior at Chapman University out in California. Had a 2.53 ERA in 2025, over 12 appearances, all of which were starts. His last relief appearance was July 8th, 2024, when he was with the Green Bay team of the Northwoods League against the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders.
That's a fun name.
That is a fun name. He went for 3 innings, allowed 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts. He had a phenomenal season with Chapman. Only allowed more than 2 unearned runs in a start twice. The shortest he went was 3 1/3. He also threw 2 complete shutouts. One against Whittier on March 15th, one against Caltech on the 2nd of May. That one against Caltech, very impressive. 9 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts. He is a strikeout thrower through and through. Never walked more batters than he struck out this last season. Struck out double-digit number batters 6 times. His season high being 14 Ks over 8 innings at Claremont Mudd Scripps on February 28th. And an interesting spot to bring him in. He only needs 1 out to get out of the inning with a man on second.
Yeah, not the first time we've seen this from Mitch Carricker. Of course, it is the first time we've seen it with game to finish for the remainder of the frames. Eddie Copper was brought in for just 1 out to end the Orleans game on June 27th. Got the game-winning strikeout in that appearance, but imagine Henry Chabot will be asked for a bit more in his first appearance here on the Cape.
Chabot facing Tanner Marsh. First pitch slider away. He's a heavy slider guy. Uses that pitch a ton, but he's also got a fastball, a curve, and a change. And a good pitch right down the heart.
Let's give Brendan Oliveira his flowers. 1 2/3, doesn't allow a hit nor a run, at least to this point. Of course, he's responsible for the man on second of Jake Coonan after the leadoff walk, but he looked really comfortable in those first 6 batters he faced of this summer.
It's on Chabot to keep his line clean. Runner goes on the 1-1. Backdoor closed. The throwdown not in time. Back-to-back stolen bases for Jake Coonan, who only stole 2 and only attempted to steal 3 coming into this game.
This is the gutsier of the two for Jake Coonan to go from third. Had a healthy lead at second, didn't get a great jump, and Chattel was all over it. Again, he's missed the last couple of throwdowns outside to the guy at the base. And Jake Schaffner covers in time, but again, that throw too far to bring over.
3 stolen bases on the day. Brini was the other one, stole a base back in the 3rd inning. Right now his fastball sitting around 93. That cutter at 87. Back up the middle, it's past Charlie Bates for a hit. Jake Coonan trots home. It's 6-1 Harwich.
Leaves this one over the plate, Chabot, and a great piece of hitting from Nico Brini to slap it right, or rather that's Marsh, rather to slap it right out into the center field. Good piece of hitting where he had to bring it around a little bit to the outside of the zone, and you see the benefit of a couple stolen bases from Jake Coonan. You could argue given to him by Matt Chattel with some errant throws, but make no mistake that his decision to steal has Harwich up by 5.
Chabot nearly got Tanner Marsh with that pickoff move. But the speedy second baseman just able to get his hand back on the bag. It's Nico Brini. Takes a strike, the throw down, and the runner not in time. The entire infield thought they were going back to the dugout.
You see here, Chattel with his best throw of this inning on a stolen base attempt. Puts it in a beautiful spot for Bates, and a very good dive from Tanner Marsh to beat the tag. Just got that left hand on the corner of the bag.
That's the 3rd stolen base in this inning. Back up the middle, Chabot knocks it down and will end the inning the old-fashioned way. Jake Coonan comes home after drawing a walk and manufacturing a couple stolen bases. It's 6-1 Harwich.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so like seeing all the behind-the-scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing, and I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what like the major kind of entails of doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting, so I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Bottom of the 6th inning, and Gianni Gambardella still pitching for the Mariners. This is the longest that he has gone. Before this, he went for 4 1/3 twice. But he's trying to stretch in and through the 6th for the first time this 2025 season. The Mariners maybe prepping him a little bit for the postseason, as that's when you usually see some of these starters in the Cape League go for this long of a time. He's going to face Parker Brocious, Jeff Lugie, and Gabe Camacho in this 6th inning. Brocious was a leadoff batter for 7 of the 8 games that he played with the Harbor Hawks in the 2024 season before he got hurt, suffering an injury in the outfield, ran into the outfield wall and hurt his shoulder. Had to go home earlier than he wanted, but he's back in Hyannis and is excited for the opportunity to finish what he started back in 2024. Brocious takes a ball.
Not the first time we've seen an opposing pitcher go into the 6th inning. Tegan Coons stretched 5 1/3 on July 6th for Brewster. So did Freddie Rodriguez for the Mariners on July 1st.
Always a toss-up at this point when a guy hasn't pitched that long since his collegiate season on how it's going to go. And that's a nice pitch.
Sure is, and it's what John Burdella has shown all game long. Of course, a difficult start in the first inning, back-to-back walks and a sac fly from Jeff Luigi, but it's a lone blemish on his record so far.
Back-to-back foul tips. It counts 2-2.
And I think the most impressive part of that, Graham, is that he's only got 3 strikeouts so far in this game. Hasn't walked a batter since he walked Brocious in the first inning. Hyannis has put bat to ball, but hasn't made anything of it.
Foul ball. Conti thought he was going to have a run after it, but excuse me, it looked to not be the case. It served to not be the case. Yeah, it was a slow start for Gambardella. Walked Jake Schaffner and Parker Brocious, the first 2 batters of the ball game. Also allowed a sac fly to bring Schaffner home. We'll do the 2-2 for a third time. But since then, he's cleaned it up phenomenally. Faced the minimum in innings 2, 3, 4.
And listen to the difference between the lines for Hyannis pitching and Gambardella. You've got 2 errors for Hyannis, along with 3 balks and a hit batsman. Nothing such for the Harwich starter.
Fly ball goes foul down the first base line. Both of the times that Brocious has been to the dish, it's been 3-2 counts. He's moments away from making that true for a third time. And this is why he was so valuable to the Hyannis team in 2024. Because he could work these counts. He could work full counts and draw walks like nobody's business. He drew 3 against Harwich the one time that he played this team. He crossed home plate in 7 of 8 games that he played for the Hawks. Payoff. Ripped into left field. Parker Brocious with his first hit of the 2025 season.
He's made an immediate impact here in Hyannis. Of course, has unfinished business here with the Harbor Hawks after his 2024 ended prematurely. Works that walk in the first inning, showed really good plate discipline. Now shows the pitch recognition and a good swing decision for his first single of the season.
That's only the second time that the leadoff hitter for Hyannis has gotten on base. It's really been a struggle for the Harbor Hawks, especially as of late, as Steve Englert, the manager, going to come out to the mound. The Hawks 0 for 8 getting their leadoff hitters on base against Brewster in yesterday's game. And Englert going to make his first call to the bullpen of the night. Parker Brocious sends Gambardella home a little bit early with a single. We'll get you the new pitcher in just a moment.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
New pitcher on the mound for the Harwich Mariners. It's Adam Arthur. Arthur making his 7th appearance of the Cape League summer. Rising junior at Kansas State. And over 12 1/3 innings of work this summer with the Mariners. He's got an ERA of 2.19. He struck out 12, has only walked 5. He's coming in for Gianni Gambardella, who had a really strong start, stretched all the way into the 6th. Although he wasn't able to record an out, so his line will finish at 5. He's still got some unfinished business as Parker Brocious led off with a single. So Adam Arthur going to try to keep his line clean along with his own. Arthur yet to pitch against this Hyannis team this season, although he's been with the Mariners for quite a while now. Regardless, Hyannis bats have really struggled in this ball game to get any kind of momentum going.
They sure have, and Graham, we mentioned that they've put bat to ball pretty well. Number of flyouts and groundouts to go along with that 1 run on the sac fly, following the 2 walks to lead off the game. But since that first inning, they have just 3 hits and more runs to show for it, and thus trail by 5 runs.
And that was a huge single from Parker Brocious just to get something started early. Hyannis has struggled tremendously getting leadoff batters on base. Only the second time that the leadoff batter has gotten over to first in this ball game. Yesterday against Brewster, Hyannis went 0 for 8 with 6 strikeouts. Jeff Lugie 1 for 1 on the day. Singled back in the third, had a sac fly in the first that brought home Jake Schaffner, the lone run for the Harbor Hawks. Lugie played against the Harwich Mariners back on July 1st. That was the second game between these two. Went 0 for 4. Didn't strike out, didn't walk. And since then, he's only been held hitless by opponents twice. The first time was 2 games later against Orleans on the 5th. And the second time, was most recently against Brewster, as he fouls one straight back. But in that game against Brewster, he still was able to get on base. He didn't draw a walk. He got on via a fielder's choice and came home. Still made an impact for Hyannis. It's 1-2. Fouled, turns it into another 1-2 pitch. But before that 0 for 4 game yesterday, he was working an 11-game on-base streak. One of the best that this Hyannis team has seen all season.
I think he's been among the more pleasant surprises for Hyannis. And that's not to say that he's we didn't really see that at Duke because, frankly, Graham, he didn't get the chance. Played in just 8 games for the Blue Devils in his freshman year. Only got 1 hit. He's a guy who was the state player of the year for Pennsylvania when he came out.
2-2. Popped on the infield. Maddox Maloney calls off and makes the catch for the first out.
Look at the line recently. He's got the sac fly and the single so far in this game, so that's the first time he hasn't done something productive for this team in this game. But yesterday against Brewster, struggled mightily outside the reach on error that scored a run. And in that, Graham, when he's productive, when he's doing things, he makes a big impact like he did scoring the run yesterday, but make no mistake that his struggles are reflective of the team's tonight.
Camacho takes a ball. Luigi just also phenomenal at hitting in bunches. He lets his momentum carry. Over a 9-game hitting streak that was ended by the 0 for 4 performance yesterday against Brewster. He had 5 multi-hit performances. A stunning show of batting. Camacho over Maddox Maloney at short, and he's got his first hit of the ball game.
That's tough for him because he took that stinger at first base, shaking up a bit after it. So for him to go back in there, go first pitch swinging, it shows that he's aggressive. He wants to change this around, and he's clearly undeterred by that ball at first.
That's now Camacho's 4th straight ball game with a hit. As we take a look at our producer, James, in the outfield, fixing our center field camera. Thank you so very much, James.
He's running away from something, looks like. Who knows what animals are back there.
Dayton LaChance takes a strike. Gio, something you mentioned, this is the first lefty that's been on the mound for either side. Hyannis bats better against lefties than it does against righties. Very interesting because the majority of the lineup is lefties. That one fouled for an 0-2 count.
It's certainly backwards, but we've seen it, and not just in this game, but yesterday against Brewster, the only pitcher to allow a run for the Whitecaps was the only lefty that came into the game for Jamie Shevchik and Zach Bates. So this Hyannis team doesn't necessarily conform to that ideal matchup from the left side of the plate.
Hyannis with that 274 average against lefties, 241 against righties, so over a 30-point difference. Harwich a little bit more traditional. 233 against righties, 190 against lefties. They've really struggled against left-handed pitching. Dug out of the bottom of the zone, but chopped foul.
Dayton LaChance is a guy who, at least through now 4 games, I'd liken to Gabe Camacho's start. Of course, Camacho's on first base with a single, but we haven't seen Camacho unleash that power that he has in batting practice. And just look at Dayton LaChance. You can see he's big, 6'4", 240. He's got a ton of power. He's put that on display in batting practice, just hasn't gotten the bat to the ball hard enough to leave the park yet, and we feel that will come.
He fouls that one off as well. He also showed it off at McLennan Community College this last collegiate season. Led the team in home runs with 21. It was a school record. Paired with the 21 home runs, he had 104 RBIs, which also led the team and was a school record. He's got another foul ball. It's 5 straight foul balls for Dayton LaChance. Will surely put a smile on Mitch Carricker's face, regardless of the outcome. Fourth straight 0-2. Grounded softly over to third. DiCarlo keeps it in play. And that's the third out of the inning. He touched the bag over at third base, and they get 2 on the play. Still 6-1 Harwich heading into the top of the 7th.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
If you need to dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else, dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts, Milton Rents, your local source.
Top of the 7th inning, and we've got Beat D-Bot back in the booth. D-Bot, you're combo producing and playing Beat D-Bot. We're hoping that messes you up a little bit.
Yeah, because this headset's not long enough.
You're finding a way to make it work, though.
You could get up, you know.
Don't use logic here, Gio.
D-Bot, you've got an 11-12 record right now. Your school just happens to be from the starter tonight, Gianni Gambardella. He goes to the University of Maine.
Oh, come on, boys. Come on. This is going to be an all-time fail if I get this wrong, but they're the Bears. They're the Bears. Like,
do we give
it to the Black Bears? It's the Black Bears.
It's the Black Bears.
I'm going to give that to him. I'm going to give that to him.
That was nearly an all-time fail, D-Bot.
It was not nearly an all-time fail. I had it all the way. The Bears, every time. Go back. Kent State.
Yeah, the Golden Flashes.
I said the Flashes, and then I proceeded to say the Golden Flashes.
We're a lenient committee here. Again, we're not necessarily rooting against you overtly.
I'm not arguing that you're not a lenient community here. Is that what you said? Committee. Sorry.
Community.
We're a community.
But I've always said the team and then the color. Or the mascot, then the color. I'm a unique boy.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm glad you're being diligent, D-Bot.
You did that level it up, 12-12, D-Bot?
12-12.
12-12. D-Bot's back to 500. Ground ball off the foot of Aiden Robbins. He's in a little bit of pain, but hops right back up. Robbins 0 for 3 on the day, reached first on an error back in the 3rd inning. Trying to get a little bit of insurance. This is the first time that Harwich has led over Hyannis in the 3 games that these teams have played. It's just been start to finish an incredible day from the pitching staff, and the bats have just kind of taken what's been given to them.
Yeah. And look at that third inning alone, as that's the big one, the crooked number with the 3 runs that really broke this game open after Hyannis took the early lead. You got 2 quick outs, then the single from Brinney, then the error, then another error, and then a couple of walks to go along with a double from D. Kennedy. That's more normal for what we've seen from Hyannis. You followed up with the 3-balk 4th inning from Tsubasa Tommy. That's where things get really wacky.
Crack to center field. Owen Prince just needed a couple steps to his left. And there haven't been many outs like that in this ball game either. Not many quick outs where the outfielders can just take a couple motions one way or the other. The same is not true on the other side. Harwich has had a lot of those.
A bit of a sigh of relief, and certainly for the Mariners, it's been a lot of racing, a lot of great plays on the infield, but make no mistake, they've put the clean sheet forth in the last 5 innings after allowing runs in the first.
Brings up Maddox Maloney. Well high for the Oregon Duck. Maloney with an unbelievable freshman season at Oregon at a .315 average. Backed it up with a .309 average his sophomore year. 15 home runs, 45 RBIs, and 25 walks. But he struggled a bit this season with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. .233 average, only 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. The thought always at first is that wouldn't bat, but you never know. He's made some really good contact. That time he's late.
And for some guys, Graham, that very adjustment you mentioned, can be a bit more difficult. Play 60 games of college ball with a metal bat. You are changing swing decisions based on what type of bat you're using, frankly, as Coach Carricker said many times this year.
That one nearly clips him. I think the easiest way to tell that it's not just a wooden bat thing right now for Maloney is looking at the walk and strikeout numbers. In college this last season, Maloney only struck out 9 more times than he walked. Right now, he has struck out 18 more times than he has walked with the Mariners. And he's 1 strike away from getting another on his tally.
The other facet of that is that he's facing pitchers, not just pitchers, but the best pitchers he'll have ever faced. The best collection of arms in the country comes to Cape Cod to play baseball. So, yeah, he's facing Big Ten talent, but he's also facing SEC talent as well.
Payoff. Foul, and he stays alive. Weird Gabe Camacho say that exact same thing. He goes to a Big West school in UCSD, and we talked to him. He said that, man, there are no bad pitchers out here right now. He feels like it is best on best every single day.
And when we talk about him, maybe not leaving the yard yet, that could be a very big reason why.
Another 3-2. Ground ball. Schaffner gets it in fair play and gets the out. 2 quick outs for Henry Chabot, up for his 2nd inning.
That's certainly helpful. That one stays fair for him. I was going to say this is his decisive inning, maybe of the summer for him. It's early to say that, and he's only come in for a couple of batters so far. But we've seen guys like Hunter Dietz start out very poorly, maybe come back in a couple of outings, but still haven't quite found their groove yet. So for Chabot, this could set the course for him for the rest of the summer.
Matt Conti takes a ball. Conti on an unbelievable stretch of baseball right now. 9-game hit streak, 11-game on base streak. That's stretching all the way back to Harwich's game on June 28th against Orleans. It was a 4-3 loss. Crack to center field, sending Owen Prince back to the warning track. And that'll end the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Henry Chabot. It's still 6-1 hit Mariners.
It's that time of the game.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so seeing all the behind-the-scenes has really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing, and I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what the major kind of entails doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting, so I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Bottom of the 7th inning, let's take a look around the league. See how others are doing on this Cape League Tuesday. A 4-4 tie in YD. Bourne and the Red Sox locked up there. Man, another tie this Cape League season. There have been so many, too many to count. Katuitt leading Falmouth. Remember, the Kettleers just 3 points behind Hyannis right now for worst in the West. Brewster and Orleans in a close one, and the Gatemen taking it to Chatham right now, but only in the 4th inning. A lot of time left. It's going to be dicey coming down the stretch, man.
Yeah, I said earlier in the game, would be the first time since 1982 that a team would finish in the West Division with a record below 500. Wareham at 1 game above 500 entering the day, only team in the West with 30 points, but Bourne picks up its 2nd tie of the summer to stay right behind the Gatemen. Just all sorts of bonanza across the league this year, and it's really anyone's race. That's the thing we've kept saying, Graham, is that any of these teams, because we've seen Katuitt be close to first, Hyannis led for much of the summer, Falmouth's been in first for a bit, Bourne hasn't been, but they're in 2nd right now, and it's anybody's race in the West.
We've said it feels like nobody wants the division. No one right now willing to go out and take it. It's been a lot of ties, a lot of close losses here and there. There hasn't been one team that has stepped forward and said, I'm going to take this division.
That certainly happened in the East, though.
Charlie Bates takes this ball, too.
Opposite problem there is Brewster and YD won it. They're tied at 33 points. Of course, YD just finished up that game against Bourne with a point for the tie. Make no mistake, Harwich is right behind him. Orleans is 30 points.
Sent down the 3rd base line. D. Kennedy giving it chase, but he has no room.
Even Chatham, who's last in the East, would be solo 2nd behind Wareham in the West. So it's not like there's bad baseball being played all across the league, but certainly in the West Division, it's been up for grabs to the point where anybody could take it, as we've said.
Beautiful skies here in Hyannis, as Bates has a 2-2 count.
I think a contender for the sky of the summer. Bit pinker on screen than you see.
Bates fouls another.
More of an orange color.
Charlie Bates currently on a 10-game on-base streak. We've marveled this season about how well he's turned it around, but he's no stranger to getting hot quickly. After a streaky season at Stanford, Bates ended it on a 7-game hit streak, 1 game longer than his current longest hit streak with Hyannis. He had a home run and a double over the course of those 7 games. He crossed home plate in all but 1 of them. It's 3-2. Upstairs, and he works a walk. It's Bates' first time to first base in this ball game. Extends his on-base streak to 11.
Yeah, and he deserved it too with a great take. And this is what's made him so dangerous ever since that. And as much as we keep talking about it, Graham, it's just so remarkable that he's turned it around in such a short amount of time, but also the fact that he's been as effective as he has been, because he's had that long on hit streak, as you mentioned. The on base streak continues here tonight.
Chattel takes a strike inside, originally ducked out of the way. For Harwich pitching, that's the first walk issued by a pitcher since the 2nd batter of the ball game in Parker Brocious. Harwich has kept it clean from start to finish, which is maybe what you would expect from the best pitching team in the Cape League, but Hyannis bats started to find it a little bit as of late. You would have thought that they would have given him a good fight.
I agree, Graham, and I think part of that has to be a credit to Gambardella for sure, but also Adam Arthur. That first inning of work in relief wasn't necessarily the easiest, but he sure figured it out and got some help from his infield as well.
Harwich's starters have been phenomenal, 3.48 ERA, second only to Hyannis, whose starters have a 3.26 ERA. The 1-2 is fouled off again, but it's been the relievers that have struggled so mightily for the Harbor Hawks. Relievers with the worst ERA in the Cape League right now. that number at 5.43. Almost an entire run more than the Falmouth Commodores, who sit in 9th. Count runs to 2s.
And check out the difference for Harwich. That ERA closer to that of the starters at 3.31. Good for 3rd in the Cape League. So you want to know why the discrepancy of these two teams. There's one reason.
Pulled down the third base line, trying to stay fair, but it won't. And to the Mariners' credit, they got to the starting pitching early in this ball game. Tyler August had a good start through his first 2 innings, but in the third, the Mariners brought 3 home, playing some small ball. There was only 2 hits in that inning, but drew 2 walks, also stole a base. In for strike 3. Chattel runs out of room.
And as much, Graham, to that point, as you tag the starting pitching for that number, as we see the ring up here from Adam Arthur, he goes to the low corner and picks up strikeout number 4 for Harwich. As much as you tag the bullpen for that number that's last in the league, the infield hasn't been much of a help either.
Devin Mitchell pops the first pitch over Sam Harris giving chase, and he just can't make the play.
Continue to talk about free passes game in and game out because they've been such a prevalent factor in Hyannis' struggles in the month of July. And it just so happens that a lot of those free passes, the errors, the hit by pitches, the walks, have come in the later innings.
Runner goes on the 0-1. It's upstairs. The throw down, not in time. Charlie Bates steals his 4th bag of the season.
And a solid throw from Conti behind the plate. Just comes in a bit off the bag for Tanner Marsh, who had to whip it around to try and tag Bates out, who gets a phenomenal jump off the first base bag.
Big wipeout pitch there. Mitchell nowhere near. Devin Mitchell 1 for 2 on the ball game. Singled back in the 5th. Struck out his first time up. Mitchell currently on a 3-game hitless streak that actually was just ended by that single. Good take there. He levels it up. He's no stranger to pulling himself out of droughts. He was held hitless for 4 games at Florence Darlington Tech College before going on a long hitting streak. And he's run a count full. He finished his collegiate season on a 6-game hit streak and 6-game on base streak. Bates dancing. Payoff. Hit hard, but foul.
See the arm going in the pen for Hyannis. It's the lefty Hunter Dietz warming up.
Dietz would be the 5th different pitcher for Hyannis in this ball game. The 3-2 swung on and missed. Back-to-back Ks for Adam Arthur.
It's a fastball that isn't moving all too fast from the lefty, but Devin Mitchell tries to send this way into center field. Takes a big old cut at it and is way behind.
Arthur with quite the sidearm delivery. Going to be hard for the lefties in this order to get a good look at it. As Owen Prince takes a ball.
He works from the stretch, does Arthur, but closes it off a bit, where he brings that lead foot, which is his right, way in front of his left. And that maybe gives him some more velocity with the torque.
He hides the baseball really well because he stays closed, like you said.
That's another reason. Probably why he does it. If you don't know where it's coming out of his hands, that makes pitch recognition all the much harder.
Prince with 3 straight balls. He's 0 for 2, had a sac bunt back in the 5th that moved Devin Mitchell from first all the way over to third base. Prince working a 3-game hit streak for Hyannis. He's only played 4 games. And he just extended an on-base streak to 4. 2 walks in the inning.
could be one of his better at-bats of the season. And, of course, Adam Arthur somewhat pitching around him here. This is a pitch that he tries to dunk into the upper part of the zone, and Owen Prince, he's got 3 years of baseball experience under his belt. It showed in that at-bat.
Hyannis now flipping the order again. Jake Schaffner was up for his last time back in the 5th. We were talking about how it felt like Hyannis hadn't really done a good job of flipping this order. There's a check on Charlie Bates. But now all of a sudden they're finding a little bit of a groove. They haven't had much success with 2-out rallies, but the Hawks can really put one together at any given moment.
Especially with this guy at the plate right here in Jake Schaffner.
Schaffner swings and misses. Schaffner 0 for 2 on the day. Drew a walk his first time up and hasn't had much success since. He's working a 6-game on base streak, trying to extend a hitting streak to the same number. And another check. It gets into the outfield. Charlie Bates couldn't jump over to second, and it's a long run race to first base. Owen Prince just back in time.
Hyannis should be counting its lucky stars here. This is a very lucky break for the Harbor Hawks that the throw, it gets past into center field, but Owen Prince got a tremendous jump on it, and that came to the benefit of the Mariners. As the center fielder, Brenny, saw him in the rundown, Bates hesitated in between second and third and went back, and Prince has got tremendous speed, but he also hesitates along the baseline. And there, the throw from Brenny very nearly gets him at first base.
Maddox Maloney, the shortstop, taking a little time there to talk to Adam Arthur about that pickoff move. That's the kind of thing that can let a team back in when they really shouldn't have a chance. Schaffner is late to a second straight pitch.
With 2 outs, that could very well be the reason where if this score holds, Hyannis didn't come back into this game, because it's exactly how Harwich took the lead with sort of, for lack of a better phrase, lucky breaks like that.
Schaffner with a good take. Schaffner was red hot in June, had a .353 average. Didn't play in those last 4 games. Since being back, he's worked a .272 average in the month of July. But he's really hitting for power, unlike in June. Down the left side, Sam DiCarlo boots it, and everyone's going to be safe for the Harbor Hawks.
See how this one's scored. It's a difficult play at third base for DiCarlo. Go the other way and flare it towards left field for Schaffner. You see what happens, and the bounce, fortuitously for Harwich, doesn't spill into center field, or else Bates might have come home to bring a run across.
Brings up Parker Brocious. But before that, there's a meeting of the minds. Brocious 1 for 2 on the day with a walk, as it's called a single for Jake Schaffner. Moves Bates to third and Prince to second. Well, if there's one category that Hyannis has really struggled in this season, and especially as of late, it's been hitting with runners in scoring position. Over the last 17 games, Hyannis is hitting .196 with runners in scoring position, 33 for 168. It's had chances, but Hyannis just hasn't been able to bring them home. And opponents, on the other hand, hitting .304 with runners in scoring position over that stretch. Parker Brocious trying to flip that around in his first start of the 2025 Cape League season. He takes strike one.
Officially a single as well for Jake Schaffner, and for Parker Brocious with the single his last time up, Graham. Couldn't work out any better for him to make an immediate impact here in Hyannis.
That one beans him. He'll take first, and Bates will come home to make it a 6-2 ball game.
By any means necessary for the Harbor Hawks. Parker Brocious maybe has to wear it, but he'll take it. Gets hit just beneath one of those lower ribs. He turns outside that pitch and tries to deflect some of that pain away from the inner ribs. And that's exactly what Hyannis needs to get back into this game. Every player to literally put their bodies on the line.
Brocious right back to his on-base machine ways. as Jeff Luigi takes outside. Brocious got on base nearly 50% of the times that he came up to the plate in 2024 with the Harbor Hawks. And today has a walk, a single, and a hit by pitch. Luigi with a single, a sac fly, and a pop out. He has also produced for Hyannis. He cues that one foul. Luigi leads this team in RBIs with 12. Which, considering the fact that his first game was June 28th, is pretty remarkable. He's competing against guys like Ryan McKay, who have been here since day one. Good take there. They check and say no go.
Funny you bring up McKay, because both those guys all-stars, whereas McKay is among the closer guys on the team to 30 games played. He's been here since day one. Luigi, a midseason arrival, has done just as well.
2-2 swing and a miss, and that ends the inning. Brocious gets hit by a pitch to bring home Charlie Bates, but 3 are left on the base pads for Hyannis. Upcoming schedule for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks as they make another trip to the bullpen. We'll tell you more about Hunter Dietz in a moment. At Cotuit tomorrow, or Thursday, tomorrow's an off day. The Kettleers right now beating Falmouth 6-2 in the bottom of the ninth. Then home against Bourne and Chatham at Wareham, and then again taking on Cotuit, which that could be the matchup for last.
These could be two very important games against the Kettleers, and in the last 2 appearances, or rather outings with the Kettleers, they haven't gone in Hyannis' favor. A combined margin of defeat of 17 between the last 2 meetings. One, a run rule victory for the Kettleers here at McKeon Park. The other, an 8-1 victory for Cotuit at Lowell Park. And this game against Bourne becomes very interesting as well, because the Braves have been red hot since the early goings of the season, where they were in last in the West Division by themselves at one point. A couple of games against Hyannis have really set them on the right path. They went on a 4-game win streak just before the All-Star break. And for a Hyannis squad that's been up and down, to say the least, Graham, those matchups could be very, very important.
Hunter Dietz, the new pitcher for Hyannis, the 4th call to the bullpen in this ball game. Dietz making his 4th appearance. He's got a pretty inflated ERA, has allowed at least 1 earned run in all of the 4 appearances he's made, with 5 earned runs the first time he pitched against a Cotuit team that beat him pretty badly that day. Then at Brewster allowed 2 earned runs, at Falmouth 1, and then last time against Bourne on the 16th, went for 1 1/3, 1 hit, 2 runs, both of which earned, with 3 walks and 2 Ks. He's coming in for Henry Chabot, who had a pretty strong ball game.
He did, just 1 1/3 innings for the incoming USC Trojan. 1 hit, no runs, a clean sheet to keep Harwich at bay. One of the few pitchers to do that tonight for Hyannis, as even Brandon Oliveira, who didn't allow a run, has a earned run on his register, as Henry Chabot did allow that one.
D. Kennedy going to lead things off for the Mariners. Hits the first pitch up the middle. Charlie Bates charging, fielding, and recording the first out.
Well, that's a fantastic start for Hunter Dietz, a guy, as you mentioned, Graham, who struggled mightily this season. And we talked earlier about guys coming off of long college baseball seasons, then not having played for a while. You could see some of the rust, but Hunter Dietz frankly didn't play at all, and he was there for Arkansas for 2 whole seasons. Just 1 2/3 innings in 2 seasons with the Hawks.
First pitch, Jake Coonan takes a ball, shows bunt. And to put it pretty plainly, Dietz has just kind of struggled with finding the zone over his first 4 appearances. Has found the zone 46% of the time. Another bunt, that one fouled straight back. So what's really going to be his telling point today is going to be how's his command look, especially early on. Getting that first out might be huge.
That's the number one thing he struggled with, fastball command.
1-1, nearly hits him.
Case in point, it dials up to 98, sits 93, 95, but it just hasn't found the zone often enough for it to be effective.
Jake Coonan 0 for 1 on the day with 2 walks. He stole 2 bases back in the 6th to come home as the 6th run on the day for the Mariners. He's locked into a 2-2 count now, though. Coonan takes ball 3. Already 4 walks on the day for Hyannis pitching. Another free pass could really hurt him coming down the stretch.
It sure could, especially because the Harbor Hawks bats have momentum on their side with that inning in the bottom of the 7th.
3-2 rip to left field. Parker Brocious plays it on a hop.
Now they're going to have to wait with the momentum on the side of the Harbor Hawks bats, at least for the moment, after that explosive bottom of the 7th where they scrape across a run. Now Harwich going to take it right back with a good piece of hitting from Jake Coonan.
Sam Harris hitting 8th in this ball game. He's 0 for 2. Was hit by a pitch back in the 4th. Harris was on a 5-game hit streak before going 1 for 5 in his last ball game against YD on June 17th. It's been a while since he's played baseball. 5 days, with 2 days built in there for the All-Star break. Fights one off to left field. Brocious, this time in position, 2 away.
This is a good count for Hunter Dietz. He goes to the challenge pitch inside and forces contact the other way, which is going to take some of that distance off the ball, especially with a big swing from Sam Harris. Difficult ball to hit and really turn around if you're behind it.
Sam DiCarlo comes up. He's got a tough day going. 0 for 3, grounded into a double play back in the 4th. Struck out in the 6th. All it takes is one swing of the bat to change things up. Only playing in his 3rd game with the Mariners this season. Runner goes immediately. In for a strike, the throw down in time. Hunter Dietz faces the minimum in his first inning of work with a little help from Matthew Chattel behind home plate. And before we go, we've got Max Schwartzberg on the sideline.
Thanks, guys. Well, Hyannis came into this game with the lowest starting pitching ERA in the Cape League at 3.26. The team in second place, these Harwich Mariners that the Harbor Hawks are facing, and looked like more of the same for Tyler August back in the first couple innings. A 4-strikeout first inning after the drop 3rd strike, then a scoreless 2nd inning, but things got a little bit hairy after the errors in the 3rd inning. Hyannis committed 2 errors alone in the 3rd frame, that now ties them for 1st in the Cape League with 36 errors. And it just took to August out of his rhythm, but it's something that Mitch Carricker knows that he can clean up and move back in a better position as the season wears on. Thanks so much, guys, and we'll bring it back to the booth.
All right, thank you so much, Max. The errors have been truly an Achilles heel for Hyannis in the past couple of weeks, frankly. Currently tied for the league lead with 36, including 2 in this ball game. We talked to Mitch Carricker about it a lot. He's very aware, but he just can't quite find a way to decrease that number.
Well, I'm sure he's sick of us bringing it up, but it's not without good reason, Graham, because he even admits it that it continues to be a problem. And you wonder, is it a philosophy thing? Is it something that just the guys have struggled with all year long at their schools? There's really no pinpoint cause of it. But the fact that it's happening at this rate, where Mitch Carricker has devoted time to fixing it, he said he's devoted time to fixing it, he has guys coming in early to try and solve this problem, and yet it just hasn't gone their way. The only thing you can point to, Graham, sometimes, that's baseball. And it's certainly having its worst effect on Hyannis right now.
That is absolutely just baseball. Hyannis' pitching started to find a groove back in the last inning, and so did the bats. But a new pitcher on the mound for Harwich, Ryan Reich, right-handed pitcher. And Reich coming in for his 6th appearance. He's made 2 starts, has kind of been a combo reliever and starter for this Mariners team. 8 2/3 pitched, 5.19 ERA. He struck out 9, walked 5, but relies a lot on the weak contact, which is something we saw also be true for Gianni Gambardella, who started this ball game for Harwich. Gabe Camacho takes a strike. And that ends the day for Adam Arthur.
2 innings, line finalized with 1 run, 1 earned run, a couple of hits allowed, 3 strikeouts to tie Gambardella, but a couple of walks as well.
Camacho sends one the other way. D. Kennedy giving chase and recording the first out.
Hitter from Oklahoma, number 44.
The first time, or among the few times, Graham, we've seen the leadoff batter struggle in this game. Of course, last night it was a notable struggle with 0 for 8 in the 8 frames with 6 strikeouts to start innings off. That hasn't happened a whole lot tonight. We have a couple of leadoff walks. That's just the 3rd time in this game the leadoff batters failed to get on base.
Peyton LaChance swings and misses. LaChance singled his first time up to the dish, but has grounded out into a double play since, and seems to have lost the momentum he started to build back in the first. And it's momentum that he is really trying to get quickly here, because again, this seems to be the roster for the rest of the season, and catchers are constantly switching starts, so he's going to get action. Retired on strikes. 2 away.
That could be part of the reason, Graham, that very point you mentioned about the sporadic play of Hyannis catchers this season. 5 different ones have gotten into games for Mitch Carricker this year. And Brody Briggs started the night. Matt Chattel even going to get his a look behind the plate for a reason he doesn't like, unfortunately, for Brody Briggs. But for Dayton LaChance, that could be the reason to get extra at-bats.
Charlie Bates, down 0-1.
Because he could very well be a guy for Mitch Carricker that it's a plug-and-play at the cleanup spot with his power that he showed at McLennan this past year. He's going to bring that to Oklahoma.
Bates down 0-2. He's 0 for 2 on the day. Drew a walk back in the 7th. He led off that inning and was able to come all the way back around home. Bates foul chops one on a check swing.
Don't see that every day. An excuse me foul ball.
He's frustrated. He knows that's one that he shouldn't have swung at, but that's often how those check swing foul balls go. Bates with that walk extended an on-base streak to 11 straight games, as he takes that one well high. And with that walk, moves to the walk leader for this Hyannis team. 11 walks after only drawing 1 through his first 11 games. Curveball misses.
If you're pointing to something, Graham, that could have turned this season around for Charlie Bates, that very may well be it. There's a distinct correlation between seeing the ball better eye-wise and swinging the bat.
Takes the 2-2 for strike 3. 3 up, 3 down for Ryan Reich in his first inning of work. 3 outs remain for Hyannis to try to get their bats back up quickly and tie or win this ball game. Top 9, a 4-run ball game, and Hunter Dietz still dealing for Hyannis as they try to claw their way back late into this ball game. A little update from around the league. Katuitt beats Falmouth, which means the Kettleers now tied with Hyannis, and Bourne getting their tie moves into second, so it's a three-way tie for third.
Yeah, so you got Wareham at 32. They've gotten the win in their game tonight against, or if the score holds against Chatham, they'll get the win and further their West Division lead. Bourne, a couple, 4 points behind the game in that regard, should that score hold. Falmouth and Hyannis going to be tied at 27 points for third, while Katuitt still just a point behind those two squads. However, Graham, that could change in the blink of an eye. To be precise, it could change in 2 games. Katuitt and Hyannis meet up after the off day this Wednesday, and then again at the end of the week on the 29th. Those could be the 2 games that, to be frank, Graham, with this as many games as left, there's 10 games remaining in this regular season, that could decide who's going home first this summer.
Sam DiCarlo going to lead things off for the Mariners. He was up in the bottom of the 8th, or the top of the 8th, but Jake Coonan got caught stealing, and he didn't get a chance to face Hunter Dietz for a first time. He's ahead 2-0. DiCarlo 0 for 3 on the day with a strikeout and a ground ball into a double play. This is his first time playing against the Harbor Hawks this season, as it's only his 3rd game of the 2025 Cape League season for him. That being said, he's gotten on base in 2 of the 3. Only time he hasn't recorded a hit was against Falmouth in yesterday's ball game, went 0 for 3. He's late to that one. When we talk about how this Hyannis team has looked incredibly different over the course of this month, same is true for the Mariners. Ground ball, right side. Good pick from Camacho. Dietz just beats out the base runner. This broadcast is a copyright production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Tanner Marsh, who's had a phenomenal day, 2 for 4, with both of his hits coming in his past 2 at-bats. Cracks the first pitch into left field, and he's got a 3rd base hit of the ball game.
That's a great piece of hitting from Tanner Marsh.
And it gets away as they try to bring it back in the infield. Tanner Marsh takes second.
Sure. Yeah, just Charlie Bates, it looked rather Jeff Luigi just fell asleep as that throw bounced by him. Of course, it was off from Parker Brochus and left, so that's on the whole infield there for Hyannis, and all of a sudden, Harwich has insurance in scoring position.
And the mistakes compounding for Hyannis. That's the 3rd error of the ball game to go along with 4 walks, a hit batsman, and 4 balks. Sorry, 3 balks. First pitch in for a strike to Nico Brini.
Not a huge difference there, Graham. And make no mistake that we don't normally throw balks into that conversation of free passes because we don't think we have to. Only been, what, 5 so far this season for Hyannis?
Brini pulls it. Camacho beats him to the bag, but it advances Tanner Marsh. A productive out for Nico Brini.
That could certainly be part of the conversation here, too, that Hyannis is making mistakes it hasn't made before at a very critical time of the season to be making those kinds of mistakes.
Aiden Robbins still looking for his first hit of this ball game as the Harwich average leader coming into this game. 0 for 4 with a strikeout. He reached on an error and grounded out and flew out. Swings and misses. Count level at 1s. Hunter Dietz has only gone 2 innings twice this season. 1 2/3 against Falmouth, 1 1/3 against Bourne. In his first appearance against Cotuit went for 2. He's allowed earned runs in every appearance that he's had this season. Tanner Marsh 90 feet away from making that true through this appearance. He's trying to keep it clean for a first time. And he's 1 strike away from doing so.
And that'd be a big victory for Dietz, win or lose, Graham, because he struggled, as we mentioned, when he came into the game in the place of Henry Chabot. And to come out of this outing through 2 innings unscathed without a run would be tremendous for him.
Dietz runs the count full. Couple uncompetitive misses in this at bat alone. Of course, that one in the dirt. A couple before, well high. Payoff. Pulled foul. And another nice play for Mitch Carricker in the Hyannis dugout, his second of the day.
I would say get Coach a glove to go into the game, but he doesn't even need it. A couple of barehanded picks.
Coach Carricker, a former catcher, well used to digging those out of the dirt. Dietz taking off a couple signs. 3-2. In for strike 3. Hunter Dietz closes the door on Aiden Robbins. And there are 3 outs left for Hyannis to come back in this ball game.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference.
Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Ryan Reich still on the mound for his second inning of work, trying to close out this ball game against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and take Harwich's first win against the Hawks this season. It's a 1-0-1 record for Hyannis in the season-long series, the tie coming back on July 1st, where these two teams went into extra innings, but no one could close the door. It was back and forth the entire ball game. This has been a little bit different tonight.
Yeah, sure is, Graham. And to mention the pitching discrepancy, of course, Hyannis has struggled mightily with errors, walks, even balks tonight as free passes. But now 5 pitchers are coming into the game for Hyannis. Reich still only the 3rd arm out of the bullpen for Steve Englert as his Mariners, defending Cape League champions, gear up for this playoff run. And now 5 pitching changes and a first pinch hitter for Mitch Carricker.
Sawyer Black. He had a really good hit in his last ball game yesterday against Brewster. Makes contact with the first pitch. Curling foul to third base line. No Mariners can get over to grab it. Black went 1 for 3 against Brewster with a double and an RBI. Mitch Carricker said after the ball game that he was really happy with the way that Sawyer Black performed. Kind of been missing that big hit, but out of nowhere he got it. Black pinch hitting for Matthew Chattel, who took the place of Brody Briggs after Briggs wore a couple pitches behind the dish. Black takes the first ball of the count.
Sawyer Black gets to pinch hit in front of his college coach, Scott Forbes, who is in attendance tonight to see both Black and incoming Diamond Heel, Jake Schaffner.
Pop up, goes foul. Black plays a tough out. He has struck out, or did strike out a lot in the beginning of his season. 7 strikeouts in his first 3 games. But since then, he's only struck out 3 times. It's over the course of 7 games. And he's worked a count even.
Seems everything changed for him in terms of his plate approach when he hit that 3-run home run at Falmouth on July 9th. I believe that was his 4th game. And since then, as you mentioned, Graham, the strikeouts have declined.
Sawyer Black is a full count. He's got a .241 average this season, working a 2-game hit streak and 2-game on-base streak. Trying to give Hyannis yet another leadoff batter on first base. Payoff. Bat broken, sent down the first base line. And that one becomes firewood.
It's really good from Sawyer Black to catch up to that ball, though, because that one sailed to the inside of the plate on the lefty. It's a difficult ball to hit, especially one to turn on as well. You got to be really well-timed and really square it up, and he did just that. In fact, a bit too much. And it snapped the shillelagh. Bit of a Max Schwartzberg homage as he sits right over there.
Didn't even hear you. Unbelievable.
Right over his head.
Sawyer Black, he's got a new bat, got some pine tar on it as well. He went down 0-2, works 3 straight balls, and fouls that off. That foul ball was the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Payoff. Upstairs, he works the walk. It's the 5th walk of the ball game. And it's the 3rd in the last 3 innings as Ryan McKay is going to pinch hit for Devin Mitchell.
This is the benefit of having depth on the roster, that a guy like this, a Cape League All-Star, could not play tonight and now come into a critical spot to spark the rally.
McKay takes a strike. If you don't include his 1-for-2 performance in the All-Star game, McKay right now on a 3-game hitless streak. It's his longest of his Cape League season. He was only held hitless for 3 games in a row once this last season at Michigan State. He's played phenomenally against these Harwich Mariners. 4 for 7 at the dish with a double and a strikeout. Went 3 for 4 the last time he faced Harwich. Cracks one to left field, sending D. Kennedy back to the warning track, but he's in position to record out number 1.
You can hear the reaction of the Hyannis dugout throughout that at-bat. They sure thought he got it. Hard to flare one the other way off the end of the bat. Well, McKay's got the power to leave the yard. Hasn't done so yet this season, nor didn't do so in great numbers at Michigan State. That's a huge out for Ryan Reich.
And the dugout giving Ryan McKay a couple of high fives as he walks back. Despite it being empty, he gave that ball a good ride. Owen Prince takes a strike. He's 0 for 2 with a walk on the ball game. That walk coming back in the 7th. Prince has recorded hits over all of his last 3. 4 for his last 10 at the plate for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. His first game of the season was just 6 days ago at Bourne. And he's already made a lasting impact on this team. He's at 2-1.
This would be a very good hitter to have on base. If you can get him in a scoring position, a single or any kind of shallow hit is going to score him with his speed, depending on the throw.
Prince stole 46 bags with the Virginia Military Institute back in 2025. That was third most in the NCAA. And over 35 games with the Martinsville Mustangs, he stole 30. The Mustangs at the Coastal Plains League. Pops up the 3-1 on the infield. Sam Harris gets Harwich 1 out away. And it's a tall task now, but it is the top of the order with a couple really good hitters due up.
And a guy in Jake Schaffner that last week sparked a couple of ninth-inning rallies that fell short for Hyannis. Of course, they both resulted in losses, but make no mistake that Schaffner had a big part in scoring a couple of runs in those ninth against Bourne at Doran Park on the 16th, and then here in McKeon Park on the 15th against YD. Began the ninth with a triple.
Schaffner takes strike one. And with every pitch, the Hyannis dugout gets louder and louder, whether it be a ball or a strike. Runner goes on the 0-1. Nobody in the territory for Harwich. Sawyer Black takes second.
That's just recognition from Sawyer Black of how deep into shallow center field Maddox Maloney was, covering the bag from short. Gets a great jump off the bag, and the throw, yeah, it's in a good spot from Matt Conti, but Maloney had to run so far that it didn't even matter.
Schaffner now working with a runner in scoring position. Is 1-1. Fought off, it's a foul ball. Schaffner singled his last time up in the 7th inning. But besides that, 0 for 2 with a walk. That came all the way back in the first. And again, although he didn't start as a guy who could really make those extra base hit swings, he has been that guy as of late. Schaffner takes ball 2. 3 doubles, a triple, and a grand slam in the month of July. 5 RBIs, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. He's also been hit by 2 pitches. Two-two. Sent to center field. Sawyer Black gets the round to third base. And Schaffner with an RBI single in the bottom of the 9th.
Case point, Jake Schaffner, we said he hits in bunches, especially hits for extra bases. Here he only needs a single to preserve the game. A great piece of hitting into the alley, and Sawyer Black displayed the speed with that stolen base earlier and uses it to come home to keep the door open for Hyannis, maybe ajar at best, but it's still a tall task. That's a good step.
Schaffner, that's his 5th multi-hit performance of the season. His 3rd over his last 5 games. Brocious takes a ball. And Schaffner stays hot against Harwich. Played in the first game that these two teams squared off in. Went 2 for 3 with a run. Also drew a walk and stole a base. Ground ball, third base side goes foul. Parker Brocious is picked up right where he left off in 2024. He's 1 for 2 with a walk and a hit by pitch. Brocious got on base in 7 of the 8 games that he played, crossed home plate in all of those 7. He's not crossed home plate yet in this ball game, but he's gotten himself into scoring position twice. He's 1-1, fouled off. Brocious 5 RBIs in 2024 with Hyannis. With Georgia Tech this season, only had 20. It's the fewest that he's had in a full season with Georgia Tech. Brocious, they say he went around, and that will end the ball game. Harwich with some incredible pitching takes its first game against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, winning 6-3. Don't go anywhere. We've got live Hawk Talk coming up after the break.
Thanks for coming out to the ballpark tonight. The Harbor Hawks have some crucial games coming up after a day off tomorrow.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Welcome back to McKeon Park. Harwich taking down Hyannis for the first time this Cape League season, 6-3. It was a steady attack the entire ball game from Harwich pitching, as we have a couple interviews due up for you in just a moment. Hello, everybody. Alongside Max Schwartzberg, I am Graham Nash, saying hello to you from the broadcast booth. We've got Giovanni Collada just a moment catching up with manager Mitch Carricker. We could even have an interview with bench coach Rich Cagliano. And in fact, we do. Gio, take it away.